This is the Big O Show. 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 This is the
Oh, I think I know what this is. Houston, we have a package. Hello?
No matter where you are, the Slomins Shield home security system guards your home. With next-gen perimeter protection, 24/7 monitoring, and interior motion sensing. And right now, get a free Slomins Shield security system and doorbell camera, all professionally installed, for free.
Shield your world, the Slomins Shield.
Oh, great. You have a doorbell camera. Now you have a front row seat to your house getting robbed.
They're breaking into my house!
Ooh, there goes the TV. I'm sure it'll turn up at the pawn shop.
No, not the TV!
Just because you can see them, that doesn't mean you can stop them.
With Slomins, you get 24-hour monitoring, a free home security system, and professional installation.
Plus, free doorbell camera, one that'll actually work for you.
Get out of my house!
Get out of the house!
Call 1-800-ALARM-ME.
Statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
All right. Good morning, boys and girls. Hope you all are doing well out there. It's Friday. You made it. It's a good thing. We are ready to rock. We are ready to roll. Yes, we got a loaded show for you. Got all kinds of things to talk about. Sean Stanley by my side, as always. Good morning to one and all. Big weekend, right? Got Inter Miami wrapping up the season in the playoffs, a shot at the fourth spot in the playoffs. We got the Heat in the middle of preseason, warming up for the regular season. We got the Panthers starting off also the regular season. We got the Canes taking on UNC on Saturday. We're going to be at Walk-Ons in Kendall. Come on out, man. Let's go. Walk-Ons on Kendall every Saturday. Canes, baby. Let's go. Let's watch all the Canes games out there. Let's pack the place. Let's have some fun. I want to meet. I want to hang out with you all. I want to talk Canes while we're watching. I want to high five when we're watching. I want to be depressed with you when we're watching, whatever it is that happens. But I want to hang with you all out there. So come on out to Walk-Ons in Kendall. By the way, 9065 Southwest 167th Avenue. Just get off on the Turnpike and Kendall Drive. You go west. You'll be there in a couple minutes. and it's easy to find. Big, ginormous, beautiful bar, man. Really, seriously, big, beautiful, brand new bar. TVs everywhere. It's awesome. So come on out. And then we got the Dolphins on Sunday. We'll have the pre and the post game show for you. We don't have a home yet for that. That'll be in studio. So that's coming eventually. We'll see. So we will find out. Anyway, thank you all out there. I see already a bunch of you have signed on already on the chat board. I am looking forward to like relaxing tonight and chilling out a little bit, man. Long ass day yesterday. That's for damn sure. Anyway, last night was horrible, huh? This is like it's got to be tough for, I don't care about the periphery. The people that aren't Dolphin fans and commenting on Tua and all that other stuff. I don't care about that kind of stuff, right? But last night I'm watching the game, and as everything, we like to spin it to our local. And I'm watching this game, right? And I'm going, man, I'm watching this quarterback play. And Russell Wilson's been a great quarterback in this league for a long time. Looks like the wheels are coming off finally on him. Unfortunately, or I don't know, maybe it's just coaching and the whole situation is kind of screwed up, but he's got some talent on the field. Guys were open. He's missing guys, and it's not like plays weren't there to be made, and he left those plays there, So it's a bad look. But forget about the periphery. I was just thinking of the Dolphin. Now, I'm not thinking of the Dolphin like me. Okay, because some of you are Dolphins like me, that you believed in Tua and you were willing to be patient and you noticed what was around him was the problem, not him, right? We don't count. But I'm thinking about this. I'm thinking about the Tua disbelievers, haters that are Dolphin fans. Okay, it's got to be frustrating as shit for them because, one, they've been proven dead ass wrong, right? Which is kind of weird, right? But whatever. They've been proven dead ass wrong. And then all you got to do is just look around the league. Like, Tua is superior to so many other guys that are playing right now. And then you watch that shit last night between the Colts and the Broncos. I'd rather have Tua right-handed over those bums last night. Okay? You know how some of you just, again, the Tua bias out there. And imagine if he was right. No, I don't need to imagine right hand. It's like me, throwing the opposite hand or you throwing the opposite hand or writing the opposite hand. We're going to be terrible at it, right? So is Tua being opposite hand. Well, I'll take Tua opposite handed than the guys I watched last night. That's how I felt by the end of that game. I mean, that was just, and I did watch it. It was like, it's amazing how we are just, but then again, I also had some money on it, but I knew I was losing that game already. But it was just one of those where either you had fantasy or you had money on it, or you were actually a Broncos or a Colts fan. So you have to watch that shit. I mean, that was just terrible. And I guess it was so terrible that on Twitter, it's so entertaining on Twitter just to follow what's going on, and you're commenting and other people are commenting and all that kind of stuff. And I think that that's probably what kept me going last night while watching that game, is that the Twitter reaction was just so amazing. And it was just a gross display of football last night. An absolutely gross display of football. And if you're a Dolphins fan, okay, and for those of you that were Tua disbelievers, I would hope you're Tua believers now. Let's hope he takes care of his body. But you don't you appreciate it a little bit more? I hope so. I know. Listen, as much as I'm a believer, I appreciate it even more now. And I know watching Teddy over the next week or maybe two, I'm going to appreciate Tua even more by it's all said and done. Hell, even when Teddy came in, I was like, yeah, I'd still rather have Tua way better than this. And I'm watching last night Matt Ryan, old-ass Matt Ryan, and I'm watching Russell Wilson just completely off, and I'm like, dude, I'll take Tua any day of the week and twice on Sundays over any of these guys. And to think that just a few months ago we had to be defending Tua like if he even belonged in the league, because we had people talking about him like he had no business in the NFL. Okay, we had idiots thinking, no, he can't run a high-powered offense. He can't throw deep. He can't be a franchise quarterback, which is, again, completely asinine to think that. In my eyes, that's the way I look at it. But appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. And let's hope the young man takes care of himself. Let's hope he gets back on the field soon and plays well, because he is the hope you have in order to enjoy high-level football. You know, to go back to being mediocre to at best average on years, yeah, I don't want to go back to that. I don't want to be that. That's what they are right now with Teddy Bridgewater. No, I want to be much better. And number one gets this team much better. So last night you watched that. Whew. The Russell Wilson situation is getting ugly now there in Denver. Okay, I mean, Russell's one of those guys you can only defend throughout his career. He's been a playmaker. He's been an amazing leader, person, all that stuff. But none of that flies, man, when this is going on. And that's the problem. And you got him at the end of press conferences.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. Broncos country. Let's ride.
Broncos country. Let's ride.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. Broncos country. Let's ride.
Let's ride. At the end?
Let's ride. Let's ride. Let's ride. Let's ride.
Let's ride. Let's ride. And so that stuff doesn't, it just, you know, you're already, they already make fun of you for who you are. Well, now when you're not playing well and you're getting, you know, $200 million, yeah, that's not going to fly, man. He laid on the sword last night. He should. He can't point any fingers anyway. Not that he's that guy anyways. He doesn't really point fingers. You know, he looks at himself in the mirror and says,
let's ride.
Right. You know, he just says, let's ride. That's all. That's what you got to do. Right, Russ?
Let's ride.
Exactly.
Let's ride.
That's what you got to do. You got to ride, bro. Everybody, let's ride. But it's not going to ride anymore. This is going to be ugly. Does Nathaniel Hackett get absolved for the 64-yard field goal now? Does he get to come back and say, well, you guys, you know, ownership went and got me a babysitter. You guys told me I should have gone to Russell Wilson. Well, guess what? I went to Russell Wilson right inside the red zone, and he crapped in his pants. So now what do you got to say about my 64-yard field goal? I'm just saying, right? Nathaniel Hackett he's got a case right now. Hey, yo, where are those articles? Where are all the people slamming me? Big O said I was a hack. Huh? Where's that asshole? Where's that jerk Big O saying I was a hack for not going to Russell Wilson? What's Big O got to say now? I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Nathaniel. I'm sorry. Okay, so maybe we were wrong about Nathaniel Hackett here. Or maybe we're not, because the place is a disaster. But so he's got an argument now. You can't tell him, oh, you should have gone with Russell Wilson. You paid him $200 million. Well, see, I kind of know that Russell, I'm watching him in practice. He's kind of off. I can't trust him. I'd rather trust the 64-yard field goal. Now he's got an argument. I'm just saying, sometimes you got to make an argument. And at this moment, he can make an argument. That's all, you know? So Russell Wilson not looking good. Okay?
Let's ride.
Whew. Yeah, let's ride.
Let's ride.
I like it. Let's ride. Holy moly. The other thing I saw last night, Richard Sherman must have enjoyed himself. I mean, I think he might have had an orgasm in his pants or something like that. I'm telling you, he enjoyed Russell Wilson struggling. There was no that emotion. And let me tell you, if there was a door on the set of Amazon, it would have gotten torn down. I mean, Richard Sherman was a little over emotional on that stage last night. Like it was close to kind of psychotic. It was one of those like, yo, dude, you're about to lose control right here on the air. I get it. You're enjoying Russell Wilson, and so you want to, sensationalize it and go overboard and all that stuff. And, I'm sure you have your frustrations from the day he threw that interception in the Super Bowl because he was following orders and all that good stuff. And you're pissed from that day. To me, that's what I felt. I felt that rage, I felt that rage, and all I thought of was Richard Sherman tearing down doors. That's all I was imagining last night watching Amazon. Like there's Richard Sherman. Wow, he's going crazy. I hope there are no doors around. Whew. That was a little too much there with Richard Sherman. Not just Richard Sherman, but it's also nice to know that Tony Gonzalez, a guy that, is I don't know what I would call him as a broadcaster, but watching him last night, it's nice to know that he gets, entertained easily on his own. And I'm not sure if any of you saw this last night, but he was clearly entertaining himself.
Let's talk about both these offenses. Both these offenses, they better stop horsing around.
Horsing around. And he's the only one laughing on the set. One's a Bronco, one's a Colt. They need to stop horsing around. Did you get that? Did you guys get that? Because it was funny. I mean, I was rolling. Were you guys rolling? I was rolling. I just had to go. I mean, I couldn't stay on my couch. I fell off the couch. And then I see Richard Sherman's rage, and then that got me back on the couch going, whoa, somebody going to get hurt here? Is he about to break the set? Is there a door about to be torn? I wonder if the door on the way out of the stadium got torn down by Richard. But yeah, that's a very entertaining crew. Just want to say, there on Amazon. All right. 855-912-1056. That's 855-912-1056 if you want to get in on the Welt and Rayom text line. 855-912-1056. Lisa says, clearly there was nothing to fear about these big name QBs coming to the AFC. LOL. Yes. Yes. Big O, today in the broadcast or the pregame show, you have to wear 2 gloves. Teddy 2 gloves. Ha ha. Not bad. Might remind me of the pandemic time where I did wear a couple gloves. Let's see. Dad jokes are the best. They are. Big O, what teams will be represented in the World Series? Oh, it's easy, sir. The Marlins and the A's. What's wrong with you? Come on. Who thought the joke was funny? Yay or nay? Karen, anybody thought that joke was funny for real? I just, there was nothing funny about that joke at all. I certainly didn't find it funny. Did you find it funny at all there, Sean? Were you laughing? Were you in your stitches? Huh? He's thumbing down the whole shit. Richard Sherman is far from impartial. No business being on TV. I know he's he was very biased last night. He was emotionally biased. He looked like a guy who was getting locked out of a home. I'm serious. That was just, Big O, did you see the video of Draymond punching Jordan Poole? I haven't. Oh, they did? They released it? Oh, I haven't seen the video. You have it? You're going to get it? Okay, Sean's going to get it. All right. Make sure you pause it right after that open of theirs. So maybe we don't get tagged. What else do we have here? Good morning. What happened with Russell Wilson last night? He couldn't win the game, but the Tua haters bring up the Tennessee game from last year. Happy Friday. Yeah. Well, the problem, Tony, see, here's the thing. We can't go and do the Tua Russell thing because Russell's an older player. He's got mileage on him already at this point, and he's already accomplished a shit ton in the NFL and won a championship. So if he's, getting a little older and he's a little off and it's a new system and new teammates and all that, and maybe the coaching doesn't know how to get the best out of him. I don't know, whatever it is. But he's already accomplished. So it's just one of those things. Oh, nice. Nice. Okay. All right. Let's get that going. Let me get this out of the way. So we got that, huh? Hit play. All right. There's green. Okay. Doesn't look like they're talking yet. Doesn't look like they're jamming at each other yet. So Poole's on the left side. Now Green's walking over where Poole's at. And so Poole, oh, there we go. Okay. All right. And apparently he's not going to get he's not going to get suspended because of it. I mean, to me, it's not a big deal, bro. Fights happen all the time, and it's water under the bridge. You get over it. Grow the hell up. Growing up in your neighborhood, did you not have fights with your friends at times? Might have gotten pissed off at each other for something, and then you work it out in the next day or week or whatever. Eventually, feelings subside. Guys put it aside. Women aren't good at that. Women, they're a hell of a lot more competitive than men, so they kind of take it a little bit more personal. Sometimes women can't put those kind of differences, but guys have a tendency of fighting and then just forgetting about it and moving on. Just one of those things. And that's why, to me, this is not as big a deal as everybody's making it out to be, because this is something that's been going on forever. What do you think? You're going to stop when you get groups of guys together? You think you're going to stop them from some kind of a difference? I guess you've never played basketball or football or anything competitive or whatever with, when you put a bunch of guys together, crap's going to happen, dude. Testosterone's flying. And, but one thing about men overall, not everybody, because I can't generalize it, but overall, I mean, I can generalize it. I can't say that it's mostly, let's stereotype it there. That's what I mean. That most guys can, there's lots of guys that are best friends and they had fights, man. And then they just forgot about it and moved on. And guys have that tendency of doing stuff like that. So to me, this is no big deal. Who knows, man? Jordan Poole might be an a-hole. Draymond Green's an a-hole, right? But maybe Jordan Poole's a jerk too. And maybe he said something, I know he called him a 3 single hitter or something like that or whatever, but who cares? I just, it's kind of like the concussion. Huh?
The triple single.
The triple single. That's it.
Yeah, Barkley made it up for him.
Right. There you go. Nizzle, thank you, sir, for the love on the super chat. He says, it's my birthday. Can I get a shout out? Appreciate O and Sean. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And Chad, remember, also part of the family. Nizzle, happy birthday, my brother. I hope you have a perfect day, my friend. And this this evening when I have a little edge and vodka, because you bet your ass I'm going to have a little edge and vodka tonight. Okay, I'm going to have a little edge and vodka and hang out in the backyard with the dogs and relax tonight. I will have a toast in your name, Nizzle, and have a little shot in your honor. So happy birthday, sir. May you have the perfect day today. Okay.
Happy birthday, Nizzle.
There you go. There you go. Daniel Barrios, thank you for the love on the super chat. Big O, I wasn't old enough to remember Jason at the start of his career, but I know it wasn't until his fourth season till he became a beast. How do you feel about Jalen's current growth now in the second season? I'm extremely happy with it, man. Extremely happy with it. Guy had 8.5 sacks last year. This is all part of the growing pains. I'm a patient guy when it comes to, unless I think you can't play, then I have a problem with you right from the get-go. But I don't have that problem with Jalen Phillips. It's not like he can't play. He's a player. Now he's just got to figure it out at this level. Look at Kenny Pickett. You know, some people are freaking out, and I'm like, who cares, bro? It's a rookie quarterback. He threw 3 interceptions. Big freaking deal. Young quarterbacks are going to have, a nightmarish time to start the NFL more often than not. Sure, there are some guys like Marino that just come off the bench and say, F you all. I'm here to dominate. There are some guys like that, yes. But more often than not, young guys are going to have their ups and downs. And Jalen Phillips, obviously not having the same kind of sack success early on, but that's fine. Things will get going, and he'll figure out. The whole team is not doing a good job getting after the quarterback. I'm extremely happy with Jalen Phillips. He's mature. He's athletic. He's, perfectly built for that position. He'll be fine. He'll be fine. We just have to be patient. We have to give young people an opportunity to grow, okay? And if you don't, it's not fair to them, because this is an incredibly difficult transition for any human being. So, Red Recover, by the way, proud sponsor of our program. And when we talk about red light therapy, I believe in it so much. It is great for your workouts. I was thinking about this for you golfers. You're going to go out this weekend, Saturday or Sunday. You're going to walk 18 holes, right? You're going to be sore after that, right? If you have the red light therapy and you have the wraps, which are incredibly affordable, you can get 10% off by using our code BIGO. And I was thinking about this. You're going to go play tennis. You're going to go play golf. You're going to go play pickleball. Man, you put on the wraps for your knees, your elbows, whatever it is for, 15 minutes prior to your workout. And then when you come back home, you put it on again. And the good thing is it's not tied to a cord. These are all rechargeable batteries. So you're able to walk around and keep doing your thing while you're getting your 15-minute therapy. And it allows your workouts so you can excel in your workouts, so you can kick your partner's butt in pickleball, so you can win in golf, maybe hit it a little farther, feel a little better, have less soreness after that. So use that also before and after to help you out for your workouts, whether you're going to the gym, whatever it is that you do, power walking, running, you name it. Red light therapy is amazing for that. You have animals, dogs, their hips, that becomes an issue. We've got wraps for that. Okay, it's great for the kids. Why? It's all natural. There are no side effects whatsoever. Go to redrecover.com. Go check out the video blogs, read up on it. I promise you're going to freak out. And when you try the product, that's really what's going to be impressive. So if you got an arthritic issue, you've got a former injury, surgery, all of that, even scars, folks. You just had surgery and you got a scar and you're worried about it leaving a mark. You use red light therapy on it every day. It will help that scar disappear. It's beautiful. Red light therapy is just an amazing addition to our lives. So please go to redrecover.com and, of course, use our code BIG-O, and you will be very happy. Johnny Rodden says, morning, Big O question. If Teddy, after a full week of practice, plays like crap and we lose, do we give Thompson a shot versus the Vikings, provided Tua isn't back for the Steelers? Johnny, why don't we do this, my brother? Why don't we wait to see how Teddy plays? Okay? And then we'll find out. I doubt it anyways. I doubt they're going to use the kid, if you're really asking me. But instead of getting into the hypotheticals, let's just let's see what Teddy does this week. You know what I mean? But in general, I don't think so. I think they're going to stick with Teddy no matter what because of the experience. This kid has not seen NFL defenses, and I think that's something that you guys just don't seem to understand how difficult it is when you're really preparing for an NFL defense. Let's see. What a horrible name for a QB when it has pick in the name. LOL. That's like a shooting guard with the last name Airball. Yeah, that would be bad. Heard Skylar address the call for him to start. I think he did in his press conference. I'm sure he mentioned something. I forgot what it was, but don't really care. So just because he addressed it, who gives a shit? Chris Ike, good morning, Big O, Arizona. I'm at my security desk at work. Most employees are working from home. This is how I start my Friday, passing the time. Great Friday so far. It's the only way to start your Friday. Chris, that's very nice of you. Thank you, my friend. Oh, by the way, yesterday, Ali, thank you, sir. You made a donation through Cash App. You made a Bitcoin donation. So thank you. Because remember, you can always make a donation through Cash App or Venmo. And Hakeem yesterday made a donation of Bitcoin. So thank you. Remember, you can always donate Bitcoin, or you can donate at Venmo or at Cash App. That's Cash Big O Show is the address. Why? Because we get 100% of that donation on YouTube. We get 70 because YouTube takes 30. So if you want to make a donation of cash or Bitcoin, you can do it on Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. We always love a little Bitcoin, man. Nothing wrong with that, man. So appreciate that. Thoughts on Jovic yesterday? I didn't watch it, so I can't tell you anything about it. You know what I mean? I did not watch it. I actually will watch some of it tonight when I'm relaxing. I was watching football last night. I'm not so worried about preseason basketball, man, to be quite honest. I don't really look at it like, anything serious. What did he do? I didn't even check the numbers. I gotta be honest. It's preseason basketball, dude. I can't. I put so little weight on preseason basketball that it's hard for me to even look at it seriously and use it as some kind of a measuring stick or anything like that. So that's my problem with it. Let me see. I'll pull up the Heat box score with it, but I'll watch it tonight and check it out. But I appreciate Heat fans.
He did 10 minutes 10 points in 16 minutes, 4 of 7 shooting, 2 of 4 from 3.
Okay. All right. Nice to see the threes too. Okay. The one thing, and you would agree with me on this, Sean, because you've seen him up close. He needs to build up that body. He's a youngin', baby.
He looks like Tyler Hero when he first came in the league.
Yeah. He is a baby. He is going to get just crushed and pushed around. So that's going to take him this year. He needs to work on that body in the game. But I don't expect him to be, a major contributor this year. It would be, I'll tell you what, if there's something I would love to see is I would love to see Jokic actually get on the court a little bit, get some minutes, kind of like Gabe and all these other guys have done. That right from the get-go, from young, they got some minutes because of some situations. That would be cool, actually, to start his development. But I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't play a ton this year. Rick D-Man, thank you, sir, for the love on the super chat. He says, I feel Teddy will do great. Best offense he's been a part of in his career, plus he'll get a full week of first-team snaps in practice with a game plan. Best receiving core, yes. He had a better line and running game in Minnesota, my friend. I like the offensive mind here better, and I like the receivers, but not the line and the running game. he had more consistency in Minnesota in that area. He had really good consistency overall, to be quite honest. And even the Notre Dame tight end he had was actually all right too for that system. Kind of fit what he wasn't like the superstar, but he was a steady influence in that offense for him. So up front, Teddy was better in Minnesota. Better structure in the front for sure. He had a running game in Minnesota, where here he has not that has not developed yet. So I half agree with you, half disagree with you. Let's put it that way, because I can't say you're completely wrong because look at the receivers. Obviously, you're right there, but the other area, which is probably as important, more important, the line in the running game. When you've got a line in a running game, you can elevate others. When you have a line in a running game, you can win with Mark Ingram and Phil McConkey. Okay? When you have a line and a running game, you can win with Freddie Solomon. When you have a line and a running game, you can win with Brandon Stokely. Comprende, compadres? So I can pick different eras of football, and I can pick different eras with players that weren't great at the skill set side, but because of the interior, they were strong. They had the quarterback, they had the running game, they had the offensive line, and tight ends usually in those situations. Jamal Lewis with Sharp. Bavaro helped out, obviously, Sims, because, McConkey and Mark Ingram aren't anything special. They were solid players. McConkey had, balls of steel, but he wasn't like this special talent, but he was a tough sumbitch. And so you look at it, so that's why with that your point, I agree and disagree with you on it, because the line and the running game is so important. Why do you think I've said this about Tua the entire time? Fix the line and the running game, Tua will take care of the rest. Okay? Just do that. Just fix the damn line in the running game, and Tua takes care of the rest. I've said that over and over and over and over. I remember I had one idiot go, so what are you saying, that Tua can't play and he has to have a running game and a line? No, idiot. He gets to become the quarterback because he's got a running game and a line. That's kind of what helps, That's kind of the way the game is played. Frankie Fresco, thank you, sir, for the love on the super chat. He says McDaniel wants to win. Teddy has a short leash. Yeah, Frankie, I think you guys are too in love with the third stringer I like him too, but not to the extreme that I want to put him, where I think it'll be a detriment to him and to the team, because I just don't know how he's going to handle that, and it might be disastrous. You want to give your players the feeling that they can actually get this done. And if the quarterback is not competing, not able to get it done, look at last night. You're going to tell me that the players in the Broncos are not losing faith in their quarterback? Please, of course they are. They're frustrated. That Hamler video of him slamming his helmet in the end zone and pissed, that's crazy stuff right there, dude. That's the stuff you do when you have a young quarterback that has no idea what he's doing. And you're frustrated because you're busting your ass and you kind of know the situation you're in. That's the problem. That's what would happen if Skylar goes in and he's all confused. And then he's making mistakes, and then the team goes, well, we're screwed. It's not just about talent. And I get it. I like Skylar's talent, but it's really putting him in positions to be successful and teaching him how to grow in the process. Not just to throw him right into the wolves like that, because your team needs you badly and, you're not experienced. Yes, sir, Sean.
No, I was thinking about as you're talking, that's almost what the Jets situation is, right? They take these young quarterbacks and I get it. They pick them in the first round, so there's a difference there, but it's still throwing young, talented quarterbacks into the mix and then watch what they're doing.
And watch what they're doing. And it just puts them in hell, you know? And it's tough, man. I like Skylar. I don't want to rush that process. You kind of want to, make sure you build him up throughout. And what have we talked since he got drafted, Sean? What have I said since he got drafted? I told you guys.
Project.
Right? Didn't I tell you from the day he was drafted? We're way ahead of everybody in the South Florida media and the entire national media on all of this. We told you from the get-go that they drafted him with the intentions of developing him to become the backup next year. That was what their vision was. And that's exactly what's developing. But I think what they're going to do with Teddy, because you have to understand this. This is the part that some of you are still not comprehending. Mike McDaniel is going to be talking about defenses and concepts and how to battle it all, right? Teddy's going to understand that language because he's been in the league for years now. Skylar's not. So then McDaniel has to explain everything that the defense is doing and everything you're trying to accomplish on offense. And then you're trying to put that all inside his computer. It's not an easy thing. Meanwhile, Teddy has faced almost all of these defensive coordinators. He already knows all of their tendencies overall, right? A lot of them, not all of them, because I'm sure there's some that are new. And then he's seen all kinds of coverages and everything. So then when he sees McDaniel's playbook, he's going to be able to right away be able to decipher what part of this puzzle will solve this puzzle. And that's the part that a lot of you are not understanding, the IQ level that is needed. It's not that Skylar doesn't have it. It's that Skylar has not been trained to have it yet. And then all of a sudden you thrust them in there and it's a lot of stuff to think when you don't have time to think. It has to come naturally. You must react naturally. And that's something that, it's not an easy thing. And that's why I fear that, putting Skylar in there, it puts him in a bad situation. And here's the caveat to all of this. And the part that happens on the other side of all of this, okay? And this is typical. You have the unrealistic fan, which a lot of you with Skylar are unrealistic fans. I just want you to know that. I love you all, but I want you to know you're unrealistic. But it's like that fan that's sitting there, right? And saying, oh, no, dude, the Carolina Panthers are going to make the playoffs. Come on, bro. Our Panthers? Are you kidding me? They just traded for Baker Mayfield. Oh, he's going to turn around his career. They're going to win 12 games. They're going to win 10 games. You and I know that the Carolina Panthers aren't going to do that. But the unrealistic fan has just convinced himself, because he's a Panthers fan, that he thinks this is the year. Christian's going to stay healthy, yada, 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 all that stuff. So they win 5. Now he's pissed at the organization, the players, this, that, for his unrealistic expectations. You all out there, 95% of you that want Skylar Thompson, when he goes out there and fails, you're going to say, he sucks. I was wrong. Don't ever play him. And guess what? You're wrong again. You were wrong for wanting him to play, and now you're wrong for slamming him, because now you're slamming him when he doesn't deserve it. Kind of like the people that were slamming Tua for the last 2 years. And I had to fight them and say, you're wrong. It's coaching. It's the offensive line. It's the talent. That's what it is. It's not Tua. It's what it is. So a lot of you that want Skylar, once he goes in there and gets confused and doesn't have success, if that happens, you will be all over his ass. And just as quickly as you wanted him there is just as quickly as you're going to tear him down. I've seen it before. I've watched this story over and over again in many different ways. Expectations of a player, expectations of a team, expectations of a coach, whatever. And when they don't meet your unrealistic expectations, oh man, you are pissed. Okay? You are pissed. Let's see what else do we have going on in the world of sports.
Oh, can I ask a question?
Yes, sir. What do you got?
Well, I just because I was reading one of the in the chat here. It said, let me try to find it. Sorry, real quick. Frankie
Well,
said,
while you're doing that, Ricky Perez, sir, thank you for the love on the Cash App. Appreciate it. He says, keep up the great work, guys. Go Dolphins. Thank you, Ricky Perez. Appreciate you, my man. Go ahead. Yes, sir.
All right. So Frankie first says this team is very talented offensively. McDaniel wants to win.
Yes.
If Teddy struggles, he's giving Skylar a chance. Kid will make mistakes, but they will stick with him. Why would they stick with him making mistakes and not stick with Teddy making mistakes?
Right. It doesn't make any sense. Yeah, I'm with you there. Yeah, that makes zero sense. Again, we love Frankie, obviously, super loyal to us here. But I couldn't disagree with Frankie more.
And then also, they wouldn't have went out and got Reed Sinnett if they really thought, again, they know in the building where everything's at. They know their process. They probably don't want to try to throw Skylar into a game time situation, because if he does make mistakes, you kill the confidence, and then everything you've built up in that preseason falls to shit.
And by the way, the other thing that I've defended besides Tua, who's the other person I've defended profusely? Chris Greer, right? So can we just trust the organization? How about we do that from now on? Huh, guys? If there's a reason why they like Cater Kohu, and, there's a reason why they like the tight end, they like whatever, let's just let it go, man. Let's just let it go. Overall, they make pretty good decisions with their personnel. You know what I'm saying? And now they bring back Reed Sinnett to win it. Which, by the way, they worked out Reed Sinnett, Jake Fromm, and Ben DiNucci. Did you hear about Ben DiNucci, Sean?
No.
Do you know who Ben DiNucci is?
Yeah, he was a backup with one team that got some starting time. I remember the name. The Cowboys.
The Cowboys. Yeah, the Cowboys.
I remember DiNucci.
So Ben DiNucci is watching the game yesterday, and he tweets out, "This may be the worst game I've ever seen in my life." I'm going to pull up the exact quote for you, but I'm paraphrasing, but I'm pretty close to it, that he actually said, yeah, this is the worst game I've ever seen in my life. And then, he wasn't done, actually. So Ben DiNucci had a very, active last couple of days. He came down to Miami, worked out with Jake Fromm and Reed Sinnett to win it. So they chose Reed Sinnett to win it. And DiNucci was a 7th-round pick from Dallas in 2020. So he says, he tweets out, "There's a good chance this is the worst football game I've ever watched in my entire life." So that thing went viral. Remember, he's a former Cowboy, so probably Cowboy fans are still following him. So it went crazy, right? He erased it. But he did come back with a follow-up tweet as he's watching that game. He said, "If people want to see more Ben DiNucci, I can give them some more Ben DiNucci." So you got to like that, bro. At least he's got some spunk. He's having some fun with the whole thing. If the people want some more Ben DiNucci, then I can give you some more Ben DiNucci. That was good. That was good. So when you brought up Reed Sinnett, it reminded me of that story I just found that I think it was Barry Jackson that wrote on his article that they worked out DiNucci along with Reed Sinnett to win it, and Jake Fromm That is awesome. That is so awesome. By the way, Sports Grill, remember, they've got all kinds of games going on, right? We got the college, we got the NFL games going on, and great food. And right now, $1.50 Bud Light drafts and bottles during NCAA and NFL games. They've got new cocktails, $5 during NCAA and NFL games. Cherry lemonade, tailgate tea, $12 domestic pitchers. The buttermilk chicken sandwich is one of the newest items on the menu. The buffalo tater tots are absolutely delicious. They've got daily specials. Mondays, a $7 single smash burger. Tuesdays, $2 tacos, chicken, beef, and fish. And Wednesdays, kids eat free with the purchase of an adult entree. So check it out. 7 amazing locations, 8 soon to come. Sports Grill, baby. Let's see. I was crying laughing last night when Wilson chucked the ball into the play clock. No wide receiver in the area whatsoever. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, no, it was ugly last night, dude. It was ugly. Big time. Tater tots. Dang, says Jimmy Bones. Real-time medicine is remarkable. Directions in a sleeping medicine I found say do not take while taking other sleeping medications or while watching the Broncos. You may end up in a coma. Aha! That could be a problem. Could be a problem. I always love those drugs that are on television. And then they tell you the side effects. And it goes on for like a half a minute. Heart attack, diarrhea, your eye may explode, your ear may grow 8 times its normal size, whatever, I don't know. A third ball sack. It just crap that comes out, and you're like, okay, why am I taking this? Really? Do I really need to? So I solve this problem with this drug, but it creates 15 others? It just doesn't help. Like, well, you take this, please ask your doctor because, your heart could explode, could happen, your left toe could fall off, whatever. You're like, oh, really? What the hell's going on here? Weird, I gotta say. Weird. Oh, let me see here. What do we got? Thank you, Rick D. Man. Appreciate you. He says, for Teddy, we'll roll out to the right, strong side of the line, says Rick D. Man. Thank you, sir, for the love on the super chat. Very nice of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Big O, I'm from California, says Gabriel Martinez. My wife and I are going to see the Sunday Night Football game against the Steelers for our honeymoon. Any can't-miss places we need to check out in Miami. So you're coming with the wife. I mean, I don't know what kind of, people you are. That's the problem, dude. Are you outgoing? Are you just sporty? Are you nightlife type people? Are you food people? Are you boating people? I don't know, because obviously the Keys is always a great place to go to fish, great restaurants, go see the sunset, all those kind of things. If you're going with your wife, Fisherman's Paradise, by the way, on, I want to say it's like mile marker, 95 or 103 or something like that. Pretty cool place to eat, see the sunset, feed the sharks they've got there. I don't know what kind of person you are. If you're a nightlife person, then go to South Beach and party. That's not who I am, not anymore. At least that was me in the 80s. But there's lots of clubbing there. If not, you go to Las Olas. Great place to hang out, go by the beach, restaurants. I don't know. It all depends on what kind of people you are, Let me see what else I could tell them to go to. I don't know. It's very general when you tell me something like that, Saturday, come see us at Walk-Ons in Kendall. See the UNC game, eat some great food. Drew Brees' bar, by the way. Drew Brees. I wonder if I have that drop. I remember that drop of Drew Brees. I don't know if I have that drop. That would actually be cool if I have that drop. I don't remember using it in a long, long time. But who knows? Maybe I have it. Let me see. We will look for it here. We will try at least. I remember that drop. Drew Brees. Wynwood. Yeah, Wynwood's another place. That's a great place to go hang out and eat some food and hit the clubs and all kinds of stuff. I agree. I think Colts miss Wentz. Matt Ryan looks like his shoulder should have retired. Eric, have you watched Wentz over in Washington? Nobody misses Carson Wentz, brother. Okay? That's like saying you miss Mama June on television. Flanagan's and Scarlett's. There we go. Now we know where Chad is at. Flanagan's and then Scarlett's. All right. Not bad. La Carreta. Yeah, you got to eat a little Cuban food. Right? Hey, you know what? If you want a little culture, you go to different spots, man. Go to Little Havana, Little Haiti, stuff like that. Get a little feel for the different communities. You could do stuff like that also here in South Florida. Gilbert Martinez, thank you, sir, for the love on the super chat. Appreciate you. Yeah, that's how bad Matt Ryan is right now. Yeah, he's bad. Gesicki a trade possibility? Yes, he is. Big O, let's hear your top 3 Cuban food items. Oh, God. I'm gonna have to go with the classic, palomilla, chicken fricassee or fricassee de pollo. And obviously, I don't know what do we. I love lechon. If we're gonna go there, you know what I'm saying? Or are we talking like maduros and rice and beans or moro or stuff like that? I don't know what you would label, Cuban per se, or Cuban style steak, or a Cuban style lechon or whatever. But yeah, something like that those would kind of be in my wheelhouse, as they say. 0313 Fins. Thank you, sir, for the love on the super chat. Very nice of you. Very nice of all of you. And remember, walk-ons tomorrow, 2 p.m. we start our broadcast, 9065 Southwest 162nd Avenue in Kendall. Okay? And one of the things we like to do is our A. Lenny Locksmith Lockdown segment. We gave you one yesterday. Let's do one right now.
Time to lock it down. The Lockdown is brought to you by ALennyLocksmith.com. Services in South Florida from Miami to Port St. Lucie. In Central Florida, ALennyLocksmith.com locks it down in Orlando and Tampa Bay. Here's the Big O to tell you what needs to be locked down.
I got to tell you, I did not lock it down last night. I screwed up last night. I took the Broncos -3.5. I know the Colts are a crap show, but my God, the Broncos are a bigger joke than the Colts, and they're both a joke. Seriously, I would hate to be a fan of either one. Last night, I'm watching this, and I'm going, God, I appreciate Tua and the Dolphins so much right now. I can't wait for Tua to return, man. Because watching the crap that's gone on, and obviously watching the crap we've all gone through since Marino, God, I want Tua to stay healthy. Oh, man, do I need Tua to stay healthy. But I took Broncos -3.5. The Clowns lost to the Colts at home 12-9 in a field goal fest that probably could only make the late Tony Sperano, and bless you, Tony, rest in peace. But we all know how much Tony loved his field goals. That's the only guy that would have enjoyed last night's game because last night's game was just a crap show. So we lost that one. We dropped to 38-30-3 against the number. Well, we are going to look to bounce back tomorrow. Unfortunately, it's at the cost of the Miami Hurricanes. I cannot understand by any way, shape, or form how the University of Miami football team is favored over UNC, who has a quarterback and an offense that can score at will, and Miami does not have a secondary that can stop anybody in the process. So, unfortunately, I've got to lean to UNC plus 3.5 against the University of Miami. This is one I tell you where I'm going, but I'm not telling you that I'm going to do it because I hate betting against my favorite teams. But I got to tell you something. To me, this is cake. This is the easiest money out there. And I don't know what the hell that Vegas knows that I don't. But I don't think the University of Miami has any business whatsoever being favored over UNC. To be quite honest. They've got a ton of injuries going into this game all over the place. Their secondary is absolutely just brutal. I'm going UNC plus 3.5 here. That is our ALennyLocksmith.com lockdown selection.
A lockdown is brought to you by ALennyLocksmith.com. Lockouts are lock changes for home or business. Car key replacements and programming. All model cars. 24-hour service. Call them anywhere in South Florida at 855-869-5625. Go to the website at ALennyLocksmith.com where we lock it down.
You get locked out of your home, you get locked out of your car, you call the great people at A. Lenny Locksmith, Dade, Broward, Palm Beach, even up in Port St. Lucie, they'll take care of you. Tampa, Orlando, we've got offices in Phoenix, Arizona. So there you go, ALennyLocksmith.com. 1 hour down. Hour number 2 is next. Manny Navarro is set to join us here on the program next.
Why is it that you get locked out in the worst moments of your life?
Where are my car keys?
Man, I can't find my house keys.
In those frustrating moments, you need a locksmith you can count on. A. Lenny Locksmiths in South Florida, from Miami to Port St. Lucie. In Central Florida, A. Lenny locks it down in Orlando and Tampa Bay. Lockouts or lock changes for home or business. Car key replacements and programming all model cars. 24-hour service. Call them at 855-869-5625. Go to the website at alennylocksmith.com.
Oh, I think I know what this is. Houston, we have a package. Hello?
No matter where you are, the Slomins Shield home security system guards your home. With next-gen perimeter protection, 24/7 monitoring, and interior motion sensing. And right now, get a free Slomins Shield security system and doorbell camera, all professionally installed, for free.
Shield your world, the Slomins Shield.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. Time for Canes fans to get what they want. Information, insight, and perspective. It's the Caneswear Miami Hurricanes Report with Manny Navarro, exclusively on the Big O Radio Show. Here's Big O and insider Manny Navarro.
Right. I got too much shit on my mind, Manny. I'm sorry, bro. Anyway, so Yeah, he knows because I sent him a text now. I'm just my brain is fried, bro. And Frankie Fresco's asking me, thank you for the love in the super chat. Big O, what's your least favorite Cuban food? Yuca. All right, there you go. Yuca.
Yeah, I'm not a yuca fan either, brother.
No. They always serve yuca at on the
Carne
Christmas.
puerco. Yeah, with carne puerco and the black beans and rice. Yep, always.
And so they have to make for me. Oh damn it! What's the name of this thing that I eat? That
tostones.
I don't eat. No, not the tostones. No, not tostones. It's a little bit more like it's not as common, but I love it instead of the yuca. Damn it! I'll remember now in a minute when we get to it. But thank you, Frankie. But yeah, yuca, I have no interest in whatsoever. Damn it, I forgot what it is that I make the old lady make for me every damn year twice because I'm the only one that really likes it. Or, well, everybody else likes it, but it's not common as much. Damn it, what is it? Oh, well, anyway. All right, Manny, I just did a Lenny lockdown segment where I gave my pick, and yeah, I don't get it, bro. When we talked about this on the gridiron and everything, nothing's changed this week. They still Vegas. What do they know that we don't know with all the injuries and that terrible secondary up against one of the best passing offenses in college football?
I think they're probably thinking of the Notre Dame game, right? Because Notre Dame was pretty bad before they played North Carolina, and then they ended up sort of pulling the upset. So maybe they're saying Miami has too much talent. They're kind of like Notre Dame. They're going to do the same thing Notre Dame did, rebound and play well. But I just think from an X's and O's perspective, like, how do you ignore what's happened the last 3 years against North Carolina? Did we forget 62-26? Did we forget 45 points last year on the road in Chapel Hill? These guys present lots of headaches. And I would venture to say that as good as Sam Howell was for North Carolina, this Drake May kid is better. Yes. To me, he looks like a number 1 overall pick in 3 years. Like he looks like that guy. 6'5", runs like Josh Allen, right? Creates plays with his legs.
No, it's scary. I'm scared. I'm terrified of tomorrow, dude. Like, really, I'm with the secondary the way they've played.
Yeah,
I don't know how they're stopping these people. I really do not know. And it's not like the front seven can get after the quarterback at will, too. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's another thing that I'm concerned about. So if you can't get after the quarterback and you're going to stir up your secondary, oh my God.
And how crappy are Miami's linebackers consistently, like in terms of just bringing the quarterback down when the quarterback decides to tuck it and run, staying in their lanes, right? Because I think they can create pressure. I think
Boniato.
Boniatos. That's a great. I love boniatos, but I eat that as a dessert, brother. Boniato. Yeah. Delicious.
That's right, because it's sweet, right? And so while everybody's eating yuca, I have boniato. So
that's good. It's good stuff. Yeah.
I love boniato. Go ahead.
But
what is boniato in English?
I think it's not pumpkin. What's the word I'm looking for? Sweet potato, something like that.
But it's not.
Is it made out of sweet potato? I think it's
kind of like a sweet potato, isn't it? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Somebody help us out there that crosses over Spanish
Who's
English.
A little more Cuban than the two of us. Yeah.
yeah. Somebody exactly. Yes. Describe to us exactly what boniato is, so our Anglo friends know what the hell we're talking about. What the hell are these people talking? What's boniato, man? What are they talking about?
Oh, brother.
So yes, man. Terrified.
I'm terrified too, bro. And you know what's so pivotal, man? Like you start reading what's happening around the rest of the country, right? Like SMU's having these players sit the rest of the season, right? And say, well, we're going to get in the transfer portal at the end of the year. North Carolina, actually Notre Dame, a kid who had 2 sacks against Cal a couple of weeks ago, one of their defensive tackles is like, no, I'm transferring. I'm sitting out. So like, this is a critical point in that respect where you can lose the locker room for the rest of the year. I mean, we know what mental midgets Miami has.
By the way, you're talking about Rhett Lashley. You're talking about Rhett Lashley.
Yeah, I'm talking about Rhett Lashley, the same Rhett Lashley who's at SMU. Yeah.
Yeah, because he got his ass kicked. I saw all that.
Yeah, like anything like this. This is the new world of college football, man. Kids will quit on you and they don't give a damn. And they'll hey, I'm leaving. And that's what this has created, this new world of being able to transfer and go wherever you want. And so that's why this game is so pivotal, because I really do feel, and I said this last week right after the Middle Tennessee State loss, that if Miami can't get its act together right away here this week, I mean, this could be a 4-8, 5-7 type season.
Wow. Holy moly. And that's and
listen, I'm not trying to be over dramatic. I'm
with you. I'm watching, I'm seeing the same thing you are on the field, my brother. I mean, it's just, it is what it is, and I'm patient with Mario, but this is going to be terrible for Mario. If he has a terrible season like this, remember I told you, I asked you in the gridiron, is this kind of like his Jimmy Johnson, Maryland moment and all that all hell broke loose on Jimmy by the end of that season? Same kind of thing is going to happen with Mario, that people are going to say, oh, wait a minute, man, all this money and all that. And it's not going to be fair to the man. You know what I mean? I'm not going to be one of the ones. I'm not going to be one of the ones calling for his head or anything, but I know how ugly it's going to get if we get to this point, because people have zero patience, dude. Zero.
Yeah. And I think in today's world, the kids unfortunately are sort of
the worst.
They're just not as mentally strong as they used to be. Like the commitment to the coach and all that kind of stuff. And look, last year Miami showed Manny Diaz faith, right? And the players did during that 5-1 stretch down the final 6 games. It was an entirely different environment. You had a new quarterback to rally around, right? The guy who had talked crap before they upset NC State. He goes on the road, he beats Pittsburgh. Like, there was a feeling of excitement around this team last year. Right now, you could hit a low, and it kind of becomes like, well, Tyler's not playing well. Now we got to rely on Jake Garcia. We don't like this off. All these other excuses for them to just quit and not, be engaged the way that they need to be. So, very important game on Saturday. Cannot stress it enough.
Yeah, I'm with you there. All right, injury-wise, is there any good news have you heard going into this game?
Yeah, I mean, Mario on Wednesday dropped the information that his running backs, both Jalen Knighton and Henry Perez Jr., who's Miami's leading rusher, the 2 leading rushers from the last 2 seasons, they practiced and they're expected to play. So that's great news. You were basically down to 1 scholarship running back. Mario played that close to the vest all week and basically decided to release it Wednesday. My thing is, how healthy are they, right? Like, we really don't know, how they're going to be used. And then obviously Zion Nelson is going to be a game time decision. I think Miami needs him. I know there's a lot of critics out there who say, oh, Zion's not that good. How'd the offensive line do 2 weeks ago against Middle Tennessee State without Zion in there to take up some snaps? So
for me, Zion just needs to stay healthy is what I would.
Right.
I would be more. That's the only concern I have with Zion. It's not that he's not good enough. It's that he needs to find a way to stay on the damn field is what he needs to do. At least that's what I've seen from him so far. Overall, he's still a young and developing player. I don't have a problem with that. Just injury history is the only thing I'd be concerned with that guy.
And then on the defensive side, Tyreek Stevenson and Darryl Porter, who were both knocked out in the Middle Tennessee games, also practiced. But again, we've talked about this here on the show. Stevenson been dealing with injuries his whole career. Feels like he's always banged up, always limited by something. So we'll see. He's their number 1 cornerback with no doubt in my mind. Even when he gets beat deep occasionally, I think he is the guy pound for pound, their most experienced and best cornerback at the moment. And then Porter, again, he was a starter at West Virginia last year. He's kind of slowly come along. He's starting to play a little bit more here. But they need both of those guys to be on their A game against this North Carolina passing offense. They can't be, injured and limited and walking around there slowly. So it's, hey, this is a pivotal point in the season. Let's see what they show us.
Any news on the recruiting side, bad or good? Because I'm worried a little bit about some of the bad news affecting them.
Yeah, well, Gabby Urrutia, who writes for 247 and does a great job covering recruiting, and he's also a part of your broadcast tomorrow, right?
Yep. Gabby's part of every pregame broadcast, and he'll be joining us also during the week too. So it's a good addition to the platform with you.
Yeah, he reported there's going to be several commitments here. A lot of the IMG Academy kids from over in Bradenton will be coming over to watch this game in person. Bain, the kid out of Miami Central, the defensive lineman, who I've written about in the past, he will be in attendance as well. He's a big target for Miami in terms of recruiting the defensive line position. So you're going to have some recruits in the house for this ACC opener. And I hope they show up and play well, and there's not like a nasty scene of booing and fans cussing tomorrow, because that would not be good for those kids to have to experience that in person. But hey, maybe this is what they got to get ready to see what it means to be a Hurricane, right? To deal with that kind of pressure and that kind of expectation.
Crazy stuff. What's your prediction for tomorrow?
I said 42-28 North Carolina. I think Miami will show up with effort. I think Tyler Van Dyke in the offense will score some points. I think North Carolina has flaws on defense. The problem is, I just think North Carolina is a better team. And Brown, for whatever reason, his coaching, Phil Long, was offensive coordinator. He knows the plays to call to beat Miami. He's done it 3 years in a row, and he's got an even better quarterback now than the guy they had for 3 years prior. And I think that's going to be the difference. I think they're just going to be out talented and beat by a better team tomorrow.
What do you expect? Do you expect Josh Gaddis to adjust anything to help Tyler?
Yeah, I mean, I think they're going to go more spread. I think you will see more spread. You'll probably see some more up-tempo than they've run in the past. But I also still expect them to run the football. I don't think it's going to be, that much of a difference. Now, will they take some more shots? Yeah, they'll take some more shots.
I have no problem running the football, but I do have a problem that you don't add more spread to it and make him a little bit more comfortable with what he can do. Now, then again, listen, man, if receivers are going to drop passes, and it doesn't matter what offense you run, bro. You know what I'm saying? So if you're not on target and you're not catching passes, it doesn't matter whether you spread or you run, traditional or whatever. But you got to bridge the gap somehow. And I just want to see a little more coaching to get more out of these guys. I get it, man. You're limited. You don't have what you need to get everything done, but let's put it this way. It's like A View to a Kill. Okay.
Right.
Roger Moore gets to the house. He's with the blonde babe. And, he goes into the refrigerator and there's nothing there. But somehow or another, he comes up with a delicious souffle, and then all of a sudden, he won her over, and Roger does what Roger does all the time, because that's what 007 does. So I want to see Mario Cristobal and Josh Gaddis go into an empty refrigerator and come out with a souffle. That's all I'm asking.
I think they will. I think there's going to be improvement on that side. I expect them to play better. I think, unfortunately, this is more about the Jerrys and the Joes and who's really committed to helping this team win and playing with all their heart consistently, not getting in the gutter the moment things turn the other way. And that's what I want to see more than anything else is how much heart do these guys show up with? Do they fall behind 7-14-0 and just wilt? And if that's the case, then to me, there needs to be a complete roster purge.
Yeah. And you don't get Tanya Roberts at the end.
No.
And that's just,
no.
Really? Kind of.
And we should all get Tanya Roberts at the end, right?
We should all end up with Tanya Roberts at the end. That's just the way it goes. Follow him on Twitter at Manny_Navarro. Catch his work there at The Athletic. And better yet, subscribe. All right? Support him. So subscribe, find out about your Canes, breaking news, recruiting, players who are pissed off, players who are, transferring, all that good stuff. Get it all at The Athletic. Manny, we will talk tomorrow, my friend. I appreciate you.
All right, brother. Talk to you after the game.
You got it. There you go. The great Manny Navarro. Appreciate him as always. Remember, Canes wear, they've got anything and everything with the Canes logo on it. Okay? Everything. I don't know if they have a toilet seat yet, but if there is one, they've got it. They'll find it. Anything. Pretty much. You name it. It's got a Canes logo. Go 2511 South University Drive in Davie. Get your Inter Miami playoff gear, baby. You know that if they win on Sunday and the Red Bulls lose, they will have a home game because they will move up to the 4th spot. So we got to hope that the Red Bulls lose to Charlotte and that Inter beats Montreal. Montreal is not going to be easy, but Montreal has nothing to play for. That's the beauty. And so if they win, there you go. You might have a home game. You can go buy your kits there, man. The Heat season starting. Buy your jerseys there. Panther season starting. Buy your stuff there. Come on, man. Marlins gear, probably on clearance. Get on down there, 2511 South University Drive. Or if you live anywhere in the country, or maybe in the world, go to caneswear.com. I don't know about the world, but I know inside the United States, free shipping when you order over $99. So there you go, caneswear.com. That's your Caneswear Miami Hurricanes report.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CFs, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
All right. Devin Jordan, thank you, sir, for the love on the super chat. He says, Big O, Vegas got the Bills-Steelers game at -14. Would you take that bet? Are you talking about, Devin, are you talking about laying the 14 or taking the 14? I personally would stay away from that game because 14 points is a lot of points. But gun to head, I got to take somebody. Oh, I'm taking the Bills. I'm taking the Bills. Steelers are terrible. The Bills are going to pressure the crap out of that young kid, and it's just going to be a rough sledding for him. He can talk up all he wants, but it ain't going to happen. It ain't going to happen. So that's how I would handle it. And thank you for the love on the super chat. Remember, you can make a donation through Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show, or even Bitcoin. You can donate on Cash App at Cash Big O Show. Frankie Fresco says, Teddy is Yuca, Skylar is Palomilla. Manny agrees. Thank you, Frankie. Appreciate you, man. Let's see. What else do we have going on here? Who's thank you, Rick D. Man. Let me see here. Okay. The Welton Rayom text line 855-912-1056. That's 855-912-1056. If you want to get in on the Welt and Rayom text line, you can also reach out to us on Twitter. That's at Big O Show. Follow us there as always, because that, my friends, is a 24-hour talk show. Tua better than Russell Wilson, and Hackett is terrible like his dad as a coach, stealing money. I would have to agree with you, sir, on the Welton Rayom text line. Thank you, sir. Hi, love the movie The Replacements. Best part for me is Madden doing the play-by-play when Falco moves in on the girl in the bar. Fantastic. Oh, yeah, definitely. And she's got such a great smile. The girl from the Replacements, the cheerleader, I love her smile. I actually think that's like her, she's a cute woman and everything. Obviously it looks like she had a nice body and everything, but her smile to me is the thing that always really I find incredibly attractive for her. I know it sounds kind of weird, but I appreciate that. I'm going to the MetLife Takeover game as usual this year. There are 1,400 tickets sold. I want to send you videos of the tailgate in our Dolphin New York City group section in the stadium. What's the best way to send it to your text line? Direct message, Jeff from Long Island. It's really simple. Everything Big O Radio Show at yahoo.com. Okay? That's the best way to send anything. You guys want to send me an article, a picture, whatever, Big O Radio Show at yahoo.com is the email for the show. Okay. Let's see. Okay, they got the line through here again. Man, I've listened to Joe for decades, but I've never realized how much his thinking is influenced by national sports guests. They don't really have the knowledge of the team they should. These national guys are telling him we need to see from McDaniels this week to see if he's is real, and two Bills is enough. QB, they doubted him, man, it's unreal. I guess you're talking about, are you talking about Rose or something? I'm not exactly sure, but either way, listen, the whole year is a test for McDaniel. And there's going to be different ways he's going to be tested. He was tested in Baltimore, and he passed, down 21. He's tested to get the best out of Tua. Well, he was doing that, right? And so there's progress being made. He was tested. Can he build an offensive staff? Well, it looks like it's way better than Brian Flores, right? He's passed a lot of tests. The national people are just full of shit. They don't follow the team every day. So they generalize and they pick and choose. And, it's like last night, I'm watching the Himes kid, unfortunately, gets rocked, right? Well, the Colts handled it way better than the Dolphins. Oh, get out of here, bro. Are you writing that about Cameron Brate last week when he got knocked out and came back? And they're saying it's a back when you know it's a head and all. Oh, give me a break, dude. Are you saying it about T. Higgins when he's playing with 2 concussions? It's laziness. It's just clickbait shit, man. That's all you get from these people. They don't really follow the team. They don't cover anything objectively overall. What they look for is the shock value of everything. And then that's what they do. Then they'll get on there and they'll argue. And they'll go back and forth, and people will take sides, and they'll come up with ridiculous points and all that just to get a rise out of you guys and ladies. And that's the problem with a lot of this shit that goes on. And I keep telling you about all of this, that they expose themselves all the time that they don't know. Okay? Because we needed a coach down here that can build an offensive staff. Do they know that? So they don't know that. Okay? We needed a coach down here that could develop quarterbacks. Do they talk about that? No. So they're just thinking about the obvious. Of course, this is another test for him. He's without a starting quarterback, so now he's got to adjust as a coach. Okay. But along the way, he's done a really good job. His team has a winning record. He built a really good offensive staff. His young quarterback, well, he's getting a hell of a lot more out of that young quarterback than Brian Flores ever did. I mean, you're down 21, you come back. 4th and 7, you call one hell of a play, and the game's over. Don't tell me that McDaniel's done a phenomenal job. McDaniel is working on Coach of the Year. Okay? So, kiss my ass. That's what he's working on. So while they talk about this test or that test, there are a few coaches that have done a better job than Mike McDaniel. You got to go with what? The guy in Philly, Sirianni, right? Because he's undefeated. Okay, so whatever. That's fine. But he's right up there. He's one of the 5-6 best coaches in the NFL in performance this year so far. But nobody's going to say that because, they would have to look at it objectively. They would have to look at all the things he's already accomplished in a very short time. His receivers lead the league. His quarterback's one of the best in the league. Whatever, man. His offense is top 10. Whatever. Yeah, no, he's got to pass the test. Kiss my ass. It's just ridiculous. That's why I don't listen to a lot of this stuff. When you tell me, oh, did you see what this idiot said or that? No, I don't, because I know they're idiots. And plus, I also know I forgot more about the Dolphins 25 years ago than Skip Bayless and Cowturd and all the clowns that are on ESPN combined. Okay, all those guys you see arguing every day, the fat guy, Rex Ryan, and all those guys. I forgot more about the Dolphins 25 years ago than they would ever know. So why am I going to listen to that garbage? Because I know what they're trying to do. I don't play that game because that's not my style. We all have our own styles, man. You want to be a goof on the air? You can do that. You want to do sports talk? You can do that. You want to be the clickbait artist? You can do that. And that's exactly what's 90% of radio and television. Clickbait artists. Very few people are doing pure sports talk. And then the other people goof around on the air. And that's it. So you have your choice. It's up to you. You can pick and choose whatever you want to do. But I can tell you that most of those people nationally, they don't know the Miami Dolphins. Really, they don't follow what's going on. Manny J. Snow, thank you, sir. Controversy. What is this? Botchnich. What is that? Is what sales? What? Why am I not? I don't even know how to pronounce that word. Botchnik is what sells these days. Why is my brain jumbled and I can't read that word? Botchnich. What is that? Somebody help me, because I know I'm pronouncing it completely wrong or something like that. I'm not getting that one. Manny, you got me on that. It's sad that if enough people tell your story for you, eventually that's what you will become. McDaniel's too smart to let talking heads tell people who he is. Just keep doing you, coach. Exactly. Youngblood says, speaking the truth. Thank you, sir. Frankie says, Nikki is the only one that actually goes to games. Big O, there's a microwave society. Every coach has something to prove every single game. If not, ask Harbaugh how warm is his suit right now, regardless of what he's done in the past. Jamie chiming in on that. Say it in Spanish. Oh.
Yeah, gossip in Spanish. Oh, bonchicha?
Oh. I did not know that bochinche. I did not know that was gossip in Spanish. What do we call each other in Spanish when you're nosy? Besides metido, God, what's the word? There's another word, but is that a Cuban word or is that another nationality? Because obviously, sometimes maybe my Anglo friends don't know this, but in Latin languages, just because Spain and Mexico and Venezuela may be all speaking Spanish, their slang terms are completely different for all kinds of things. So that's why I'm wondering: is that a Cuban word, or is that another nationality? I'm not sure. So you got me on that one, Manny Jason. I didn't even know that word, dude. Didn't even know that. Chimoso. That's my word right there, Karen and Frankie and Eric. And yeah, chimoso is definitely my word. That's the one I'm used to, chimoso. That's the one we use all the time. He says, no, Puerto Ricans say that. Okay. So Puerto Ricans say that word. Okay, I didn't know. Gabriel says, I'm Mexican, and we say metiche. Okay. All right. Panamanians say bochinchar. Okay. That's what I mean. You gotta know the slang terms of every language in Spanish. It's different. Mark Gay says, compare what Hackett is doing in Denver to what McDaniel is doing with Miami, as both are first-year coaches. Easy to see. Miami head coach McDaniel is really solid. You're preaching the choir, my brother. All right, let's rock and roll. Joe Shad is ready to rock, ready to roll with our Hijinks SportsGrill.com Miami Dolphins report.
Dolphins fans, It's time to talk to the man with incredibly high standards. It's not easy to score an A or grade 10 out of 10 with this guy. In fact, he isn't impressed with Joey Chestnut's dominance, Usain Bolt's speed, or even Van Ginkel's locks. Will the hijinks continue? Can the Miami Dolphins do the impossible by getting a passing grade with Joe Shad? It's time for the Hijinks Sports Grill Miami Dolphins Report. This report is brought to you by Hijinks Sports Grill in Boca at 133 Southeast Meisner Boulevard. Enjoy happy hour 4 to 7 p.m. Reserve a VIP table online and receive 1 free sparkling wine. Follow them on Instagram at Hijinks Sports Grill. Here's Miami Dolphins insider Joe Shad.
There he is, locked and loaded and ready to go. Mr. Joe Shad, how are you doing, sir?
What's up, Big O? Doing well. Waiting for one of my friends to pick me up and bring me over to the Hijinks Sports Bar and Grill. They have the pregame Friday special, 5 to 9 o'clock. Live DJ, $99 bottle specials. I'm hoping that Adam Beasley, David Furonis, Safid Dean, somebody out there, come pick me up, bring me over to Boca.
Okay. As I told you again, over and over again, stop counting on Beasley. Okay. Just that's all I'm saying. Stop counting on Beasley. Safid is a guy you can count on. Hal Habit is a guy you can always count on. You know, these are people that are money. Adam Beasley's not a guy you can count on. He's going to oversleep constantly on everything. Okay. So just telling you, I don't want you to be let down. You know, I want to come through for you all the time. So I want to make sure that you're in good hands. By the way, speaking of hands, they're going to be missing hands, X-Men's hands, Byron Jones' hands, Crossan's hands. So it's a secondary of Kohu, Needham, Campbell, and Iggy this weekend.
Yeah, you know, maybe this is the week that the Dolphins actually give Igbenogany a decent amount of reps. And, you know, the Jets have some pretty good receivers. The rookie, Garrett Wilson, Elijah Moore, a South Florida kid, Braxton Berrios. So, you know, and Zach Wilson, the Dolphins coaches have really been impressed by the arm strength that he has shown, especially last week, the ability to complete the accurate deep ball as well as throw some laser ropes. He has special, unique arm talent. And so Zach Wilson's big arm, that's a challenge for the Dolphins' inexperienced secondary.
Do you the Dolphins have not been able to get to the quarterback, my brother. And if there's something you want to do on Sunday, you would like to blitz the crap out of this kid and try to force him into mistakes. The last thing you want to do against a secondary like that is to allow him to sit there and pick him apart. So what the hell do the Dolphins have to do, Joe, to get more pressure on the quarterback? Because I got to tell you, with Teddy there, this is the week to start pressuring the quarterback in a big time way.
Yeah, and I'm going to make a little prediction. I don't make a lot of predictions, and I doubt this is one of those special things you can bet on. But I'm going to say Jalen Phillips has 2 or more sacks. Jalen Phillips, 2 or more sacks. The University of Miami product. He's been getting the pressures. He's been beating people and not getting the sacks. And I think this is the week. You know, that Dwayne Brown, he's questionable, the veteran Jets offensive tackle. And they have a couple of other injured tackles. So, you know, really an opportunity. And, you know, and Zach can get rid of the ball quickly. But I think this is the week that Jalen gets to the quarterback.
I keep saying we got to bring a group of MILFs as cheerleaders right next to the Dolphins bench there, and then, you know, replacement style, and then that'll keep Zach kind of busy. And that, you know, I'm just saying, bro, you know, let's force him into some kind of mistakes. You know, it is what it is.
Zac Efron, right? Is that he kind of looks a little like Zac Efron? Is that the actor? Zach got some
that is the actor, and I don't know if they kind of look like each other, but they're kind of in the same mold. Yeah, I like your thinking. I don't think they look exactly alike, but they're kind of the same kind of guy. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, it kind of reminds you of one or the other.
BYU guy, just like Kyle Van Noy, the old Dolphin and Patriot.
Yes, exactly. I'm with you. All right, with Teddy starting this week, what are you expecting? What do you think how they're going to handle it? Because there's a lot of people that think he'll be on a short leash and that they'll go with Skylar if anything, or that the coach could be preparing Skylar just in case this that. I'm kind of the belief that I don't think you'll see Skylar no matter what. Teddy would have to be so atrocious. He would have to look like Russell Wilson last night in order to really throw him in there. And I just don't see Teddy as a guy that's going to look lost because he's such a prepared pro. You know what I mean? So how are you viewing how you think McDaniel's going to handle the quarterback situation?
It's hard to know because McDaniel is a first-year head coach, and until he's put into certain situations, you don't know. Certainly, if the Dolphins are trailing 17-3, which would be quite unexpected, but if they were trailing 17-3 and we're a few minutes into the fourth quarter, yeah, maybe throw in Skylar for a spark. But it's kind of disappointing to me that a decent majority of the Dolphins fan base doesn't want to give Teddy a chance. He's been a solid NFL quarterback, and at worst, one of the best backup quarterbacks now in the NFL for years. And this is a guy who is top 12 in completion percentage and passer rating, career and last year. So this is a competent quarterback. This guy is not a stiff. He knows how to read defenses. He has poise and composure. He's fairly accurate. He's actually somewhat similar to a right-handed Teddy Tua Tagovailoa. Imagine Teddy Tua Tagovailoa. You get what I'm saying? So yes. I think he'll do fine. And I wrote a story that I'm very excited about. It's on the Palm Beach Post Sports website right now. I spoke to Uncle Luther Campbell, the legendary rapper, as well as Miami area youth and high school football coach, about what Teddy Bridgewater means to Miami and Liberty City and Bunch Park and Miami Gardens and Opelika and all those areas. And I haven't spent a lot of time in those communities, but guys who have and who know him well, like his former high school coach, Billy Roll, and his former offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach, Chris Perkins, not to be confused with the Sun Sentinels, Chris Perkins, they explained it to me. They explained it to me what it's like. Luther Campbell told me a crazy story. He said, I don't know if you got time for this, but he said the first time he saw Teddy Bridgewater play in a youth league game, there was a shootout. And I said, wait, do you mean like a high school? He goes, no, a literal shootout with gunfire. I go, well, what happened? He goes, well, the gunfire stopped and they resumed the game. I said, what? He goes, right. Yeah, Teddy started throwing deep passes and totally unbothered by what had just occurred. He's like, that's how I knew nothing bothers this kid. He's very poised. But have you ever been to any of those like Miami-Dade youth football games? Or I'd like to check it out. I've never been down there.
No, it's not my thing. It's not my beat, and it's not something that I've really ever been really that attracted to.
Not even high school. Not high school. Like there's a big game. Miami Northwestern versus Miami Central.
When I was young, really, really young, yeah. But nowadays, it's not. I don't have a high school segment. I don't really follow. I follow the other stuff so heavily. I just don't have time to follow, high school. But I do want to ask you this because, one of the things next time Tua has his press conference, I want to ask him about certain things. And we did the homework on this, Joe. And when he blew out his first ankle, it was at the 3.89 second mark. When he blew out his second ankle, it was at the 4.55 second mark. When he blew out his hip, it was in the 5-second mark. When he got slammed here on Thursday, it was in the 5-second mark. So we found this video of a very young Tua. I want you to see. We're going to play it for you. It's a 1-minute cut. And this Honolulu reporter is asking him about taking hits as a quarterback and his father's reaction. Now, remember, as you know, Joe, family is all to this young man, and he's got an incredible bond with his family and respect for his dad. So listen to how he talks about his dad. Listen to this 1 minute, and then think about what has not changed in 7, 8 years since this video. Go ahead, Sean.
He's probably like the middle of the road where he's hard on you guys, but he backs off when
He's
it's necessary.
understanding.
He seems like that.
He's understanding.
But I don't know. I don't live
No,
in the
he
house.
is. He's understanding, but he's very, very strict with a lot of things. But he's very understanding. That's what I love so much about my dad. You know, whether I do something bad, as long as I make him understand as to why, you know, I kind of did it. Like, I mean, running the ball, and if I hit somebody, oh my gosh. When I get in the car, you don't hear the end of it. My dad gets so mad at me. Mm-hmm. I tell him, I don't know how to slide. He tells me to practice sliding. And I tell him, okay. And then the next time I do it again, oh gosh. That's when I get disciplined.
Yeah. Well, Michael Vick learned to slide. I mean, he ran a 4.3 or 4.2. So okay.
4.2, I think.
Yeah. But he's
all right. We don't need to hear the rest because the rest is silliness from the reporter. But anyway, we found this video. Somebody sent it to me, and Joe, I found it disturbing because your dad, who you love, you honor, he's taught you everything. He clearly has ripped into your ass about taking hits, and yet 7 years later, dude. Ankles, hips, concussion, he doesn't stop. And so I'm a little concerned now that this warrior mentality of his is, listen, man, Andrew Luck walked away from football because he took a beating. Everybody will walk away from this game. Lots of players have been retiring as of the last few years. Tons, young players. It's a brutal game. When you see that video, and now you see the history and how he continues to get injured and hold on to the ball. Tell me that I should not be concerned about this.
No, I mean, obviously, injury is always going to be a concern for Tua Tagovailoa. And
not the injury. It's not the injury that I'm concerned about. The injuries come with the hits. I'm concerned that he does not learn, Joe. That's the part I'm concerned about. He refuses to get rid of the football. And if you do that, Andrew Luck was twice your size, dude. I know how this is going to end. So that's my point. It's not so much the injuries. That comes with the hits. That comes with every player. They all take hits. They're all going to suffer injuries. You saw Himes yesterday. He got rocked, dude. That's how this game is. So you're going to get rocked no matter what. But do you want to continue to take the extra hits that you don't need to take is my point. That's my concern.
Well, I watched some of that terrible game last night between the Colts and the Broncos, and the Colts offensive line was having a hard time. A lot of NFL offensive lines have a hard time, especially when they start to encounter injuries. I think the Colts had a rookie in there that was getting abused a little bit. But at a certain point, Matt Ryan was like, look, I need to just take a few hits, move around in the pocket, keep my eyes downfield, extend plays. Otherwise, we're not going to be able to move the ball at all here. So, I guess, there are going to be spots that Tua is going to have to pick. We have long celebrated quarterbacks who, quote unquote, stand in there when they know they're about to take a hit. We say that that's an example of fearlessness and moxie and confidence and leadership. So it is a balance, yes, you want to avoid hits.
I don't mind the third down that he gets hit, that he completes, and then Milano takes the dirty hit. That's what you're talking about, Joe. That was a great completion on his part. Go look at that play. That's a hell of a throw. He's off balance, which is not really his kind of throw because he's not a big arm guy. And he completes the pass, and then Milano has the dirty shove. I'm with you on that. Those are going to happen. You got to live with those. You don't have to live with the other ones that are 5 seconds long, Joe. You got to get rid of the football. You got to get rid of it.
By the way, out at Dolphins camp, Mike McDaniel saying that Xavier Howard and Teron Armstead aren't going to be ruled out even though they aren't practicing this week. We know that Armstead can play without practicing. and he certainly has played through that toe injury. But with 2 groins, it's hard for me to imagine that Xavier's going to go out there. Last year at Jacksonville, the Dolphins went without Xavier Howard and Byron Jones, and they ended up losing that game. It's something to think about,
Well,
the
that's
Jets-
that's a shitty coach. That's a whole different ballgame. I mean, that's a guy that had nothing on the offensive side. He could not give a third of his team a legitimate shot at winning week in and week out because they were so inept on offense. So I have
ironically, they had a good day that day on offense.
I know, but what I'm saying is overall, you still ended up losing the game, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What was a good day on offense there, by the way?
Well, Tua Tagovailoa and Mike Gesicki, I remember those guys played well.
But did they really put up big numbers? Because I don't remember them putting up big numbers against Stanky Fingers. Did they?
We can look it up. Dolphins, Jaguars. I remember coming out of that game saying that we were encouraged by some things that Tua Tagovailoa did.
Okay. All right. But I don't, offensively, I don't really look at that team really had much of a shot with that coach because I thought they were behind the 8 ball there. All right.
Tua had 329 yards and 2 touchdowns in that game.
Damn. Wow. Yeah. Miracles of God there.
And Gesicki had 115, and it's a little weird.
Miracles to have success with that clown there. But, I mean, he overcame a lot with that dude. Did we lose, Joe?
Yeah, he popped off. I'll get him back up as soon as he gets back in.
Okay. All right, so we'll get him on. Dolphins are mammals which biologically have large brains. Okay. Yep. Orcas prey on sharks, including great whites. I don't know. Great conversations there. They got video of juvenile dolphins passing around a pufferfish to get high. There you go. That's good. Are you there, Joe? Okay.
Yeah, I got disconnected for a minute. I was just saying that, I didn't love John Embry's comment, the tight end coach, about them getting what they need from Gesicki when he's averaging 17 yards per game. I don't get it. Clearly he's just not a fit. So go ahead and trade him.
Yeah, that's what I've said from the get-go, why they tagged him, that they were going to experiment, and if the experiment doesn't work, then they will try to trade him to try to get a pick out of it, because, Joe, as you know, maybe they can trade him for a higher pick than what they're going to get in the compensatory round. So they, maybe that's what they want to work, and I don't blame them. Plus, they had the money under the cap, so it wasn't like, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't like this is something that's hurting them and it's stopping them from acquiring somebody else. They still have money, a bunch of money under the cap at this point. They still have some flexibility, more flexibility than a lot of other teams right now if they really needed to do something. So it really didn't get in the way. So I kind of understand the method behind the madness. It's not their fault. It's a new system. It's not Gesicki's fault. It's a new system. So now, unfortunately, as you know, not every player fits every system. And that's the part that sucks when you change.
Yeah, I mean, they could have used him as a slot receiver if they didn't get, Tyreek Hill. They could have used him as a slot receiver if they didn't get Cedric Wilson. Cedric Wilson and Mike Gesicki are 2 guys who, once Tyreek Hill came on board, their usage was just going to be minimized. By the way, Tua Tagovailoa not traveling to New York, no indication of a setback, just no reason to put him on a plane if not necessary. Mike McDaniel saying there is no plans at this time to put him on injured reserve, which would take him out 4 games. So that's good.
He's going to be back for Pittsburgh, bro. He'll be back for Pittsburgh. So you'll see. You shall see.
Well, the average NFL concussion last year was 1 or 2 games. So that's the average for a quarterback.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Right. And this one, he gets a little more. I bet you, Joe, he could play next week if he really wanted to, because what you're hearing this week, that he's in the building and helping out in meetings and all that stuff, and all the tests come back clean. And, the screwed up part about this whole thing, Joe, we're all different human beings. So a concussion like Ethan Carter could affect him differently than Tua. Some guys could just shake it off, and you think about this. Go look at the way Zonka played the game, where he had no face mask, his nose was constantly broken, he was a battering ram with his head. How many concussions did that guy suffer in a game or games? And how many did he deliver? You know what I mean? And then you look at him now and he's just fine. And then some other guys like Jim McMahon, they can't find their keys. They can't find their way home. It's really screwed up how it could affect some people, and then some people, it may not affect them whatsoever.
Hopefully Sunday's game is interesting. I think it'll be undecided within the last 5 to 10 minutes. I think it'll be most NFL games are, but I think it'll be a one-score game. I don't know. I mean, I would pick the Dolphins. It's a one-score game, whether it's a field goal or a touchdown. I get a little worried about no Byron Jones, probably no Xavier Howard, banged up, Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. Not ideal. Obviously, no Tua. So, it's a field goal game. Could go either way. I'll pick the Dolphins.
All right, there you go. So the late great Tony Sperano enjoyed last night, and according to you, will enjoy this Jets and Dolphins game on Sunday. Enjoy Tony up there in the heavens, my brother. Follow him on Twitter as Shad Joe. Catch his work at the Palm Beach Post. Better yet, subscribe like I do, bro. Support Joe, Hal, Tom D'Angelo, all the terrific people there at the Palm Beach Post. Tommy D'Angelo 44. Follow that man.
Enjoy the game, buddy. Have a good weekend. See you.
Be good. There you go. Joe Shad. Enough of the hijinks.
This has been the Hijinks Sports Grill Miami Dolphins Report with Joe Shad. This report is brought to you by Hijinks Sports Grill in Boca at 133 Southeast Meisner Boulevard. Enjoy happy hour from 4 to 7 p.m. Reserve a VIP table online and receive one free sparkling wine. Follow them on Instagram at Hijinks Sports Grill.
Right. We thank Joe Shad as always. Start sending in your fantasy football questions. You can send them into our text line at 855-912-1056. That's 855-912-1056. Scott Pianowski from Yahoo Sports is going to join us at the top of the hour to talk a little fantasy football. He'll take your lineup questions. Send them in on the YouTube chat board, all these places. You can on Twitter at Big O Show. That's another way to send it in. So plenty of ways to send in your fantasy football questions here at our Sports Grill Fantasy Football Zone, baby. Yes, sir. We got that going on here at the top of the hour. And remember, if you want to also send in a question, you can send it in on the Welt and Rayom text line. That's 855-912-1056. That's 855-912-1056 if you want to get in on the Welt and Rayom text line. All right. Sean Stanley, of course, mastering the program like he does every single day here on the show. We thank Joe Shad. Oh, man. I gotta tell you, I do want to go to the Hijinks Sports Bar in Boca. You know what? I should go up there with my wife. Go check it out. Take a little cruise. Go up there. Why not? That'll be cool if we can do something like that. You and Joe had no hijinks today. Well, there isn't much he wasn't saying anything crazy like Justin Herbert's a superstar, should be in the Hall of Fame. He's a great quarterback and, stuff like that. So he didn't say anything like, that set me off. Clarence Davis, yes, rest in peace. He passed away yesterday. Raiders. Big O, when you're getting dug on, we tried to get him on today. He has a conflict, so we'll try to get him on pregame and have some fun with him. Big O, do you think they will trade Mike Gesicki? I think they'll try. I don't know if they will, because you never know. If somebody that is, really competitive and has a shot and they need a tight end to kind of put them, help put them over the top, then I can see a move like that. unless it's a team that is looking for a tight end long-term and they want to sign Gesicki to a long-term deal. Let me tell you something about the whole Gesicki situation that I feel absolutely terrible about. He's a terrific man. He's a terrific player. His attitude is exceptional, dude. He's always been positive. He's always been supportive, even though he hasn't been supported. I'm a big Mike Gesicki fan. Like, when he gets traded from me or leaves, because it's the inevitable, I will always root for Mike Gesicki. I will want what is best for Mike Gesicki, because as a Dolphins fan, I can only thank him for being just an outstanding dude that handled really, really difficult situations. A coach that, oh, by the way, Flo didn't like him either. Just want you to know. He and Flo did not see eye to eye either. It wasn't just a Tua thing. Okay? No, if other people will tell you that, but then again, who's the only one that was telling you that he didn't want Tua? But whatever. I'm a real big admirer of Mike Gesicki, the professional, the human being, the way he's handled all of this. So for me, I almost want to see him traded just because I want him to have his peace of mind. You know, I know what it's like to be in a situation that it's, you know, like my last 11 months at QAM, when these idiots took over, I already knew what the plan was right from the get-go. My first week in my meeting, I said, okay, that's it. I'm done. I'm done here. I'm out. And I had to wait 11 months until my option came up. And so it's been a couple years for him now. Because, you know, the last coach didn't like you, didn't really use you, and now you don't fit the current coach. And the current coach is a cool dude, but unfortunately, he's got a system. And that's just the way life is. People buy new businesses, right? They take over, and then they bring their own people in. And there are some good employees that they end up letting go, don't they? You might be one of those good employees that they let go. You know what I'm saying? So it's just one of those kind of deals. You can't do anything about it. Change happens. You have no control over it. And Gesicki's a hell of a player. So he didn't fit with Flo and he doesn't fit here. That doesn't mean that he can't get it done. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody that's been gone from 560 and 790 can do what we're doing, right? Right? Let's be honest. Let's just call it like we see it. I mean, I can't be I know I can be productive as hell. But, you know, politics play in everything. And so I can relate to Mike Gesicki a lot. And a lot of you probably have been part of a business that's changed or whatever, and it's not you, it's just part of the change. Unfortunately, not your fault. It's not an indictment on you. It's just an indictment on the way things are. So I am always going to root for Mike Gesicki in a big-time way because of the way he has carried himself and has always been supportive of the Miami Dolphins. And he's always shown that he wants to be a Miami Dolphin. Yet the coach last year and now the coach this year, unfortunately, they don't fit in his plans. And yet he never acts like a jerk. All right, hour number 3 is ready to go. Line up the fantasy football questions right now on the YouTube chat board, on our Welton Rayom text line 855-912-1056, and of course on Twitter at Big O Show. Scott Pianowski, baby, our sportsgrill.com fantasy football zone. Next.
Welcome to Red Light Therapy, a revolutionary technology perfected by NASA to aid in muscle strengthening and recovery. Red and infrared light has the capacity to penetrate deep into the cell's mitochondria, potentially leading to increased energy, faster recovery, and the optimal performance your body demands. Train, fight, recover.
PPR, Draft, Keeper, Dynasty. It's the Sports Grill Fantasy Football Zone with Yahoo Sports' Scott Pianowski. Keep up with your fantasy football teams by visiting any of the 8 great Sports Grill locations. Sports Grill, good food, good drink, good friends. Here's Scott Pianowski.
Ah, yes, there he is. The legend, Scott Pianowski. How you feeling, baby? You feeling good?
I'm doing great. I apologize. My microphone needs some repair, so I'm just using my computer microphone. If I don't sound as good as I usually do, that's why. Blame it on the Thursday night football game. The only thing worse than watching that game was watching more of it. Russell Wilson, I'm worried. Matt Ryan, I'm worried. There wasn't much to take positive out of that game. Alec Pierce is a player. You know, he's worth a pickup. You can still grab him, but no touchdowns in that game, even though they went to overtime. It was a hard watch, and every Seattle game has been a hard watch.
Yeah, no, you were already worried about Matt Ryan. I mean, the Heat looks old. You know what I mean? You have your speaker on. You may have to have your speaker off because it's giving a little feedback.
I apologize. I'll have a better setup next week. I apologize to everybody.
You're good. The worst part about last night was that we've got Commanders and Bears to look forward to, Saints and Cardinals, Eagles and Texans, and Falcons and Panthers, all on Thursday night. Entertainment at its finest.
Plus, I think Seattle's playing next Monday, too.
Yes.
I'm trying to unsubscribe from the Seahawks season ticket that I apparently subscribed to. I don't know how I got into this, but how do you get me out of it?
I don't know, my brother, but I got to say, fantasy pieces on those teams, not looking good. Even Jonathan Taylor, who was money, has not been money this year for owners.
No, even when Taylor comes back, he wouldn't be the first overall pick right now. I think Kupp or Barkley would probably be the guys you'd be thinking about. And for Denver, I mean, Cortland Sutton's startable for sure. And Melvin Gordon's getting a lot of touches. He didn't do much until very late in that game. But, yeah, I should put my headphones on. That's a good idea.
Yeah, the headphones will be – the headphones will kind of
the cans, as they say, right?
Yeah, hopefully it'll limit it. If you put the headphones
there we go.
on, then, that will take away the feedback there. So the future is not good, right now. I mean, the way Russell looked, I mean, some people – listen, I thought he was going to have to play a lot of hero ball on that team, but I've actually been wrong about that because the defense has been better than I expected, and then the offense has been much worse than I expected, actually. And hell, yesterday, I don't know if Nathaniel Hackett was looking around going, am I absolved of the 64-yard field goal now? You know, I mean,
I would not be shocked if he was a one-and-done head coach. He looks like he might be in over his head, too.
Yeah, he definitely looks very, very Camrish is the way that I would look at it.
Yeah, flash from the past.
Yes, exactly. Let's see. A.J. Dillon, Bryce Hall, or Singletary PPR. Let's get it going. Bring them in.
Let's do it. All good options. I would play A.J. Dillon first just because anytime you could ride with a 9 or 10-point favorite, we like that. And Green Bay has narrowed down. We weren't worried with their offense. We were worried about their offense, the shape of it, but it's a core 4 for them. It's Dillon. It's Dobbs, who's popped. It's Lazard, and it's obviously Aaron Jones. Those are the 4 guys who touch the ball. So Dillon already has 15 touches, I think, this week in his back pocket in a game that the Packers will salt away on the ground.
Amari Cooper or Gabe Davis?
I think, until we know Gabe Davis is healthy, the thing with Davis is when he's like a sports car that when there's a little bit of tinkering that needs to be done, you just keep him in the shop. He doesn't do anything. And right now that ankle doesn't look right. I realize Cooper's had 2 good games and 2 absolutely invisible games. A lot of that's on Brissett, but I have to go with Cooper until I know Davis is 100%.
Let's see. Just dropped Edmonds and picked up Mostert. I care more about the Finns doing well than fantasy, but can the Finns get the running game going? Although he's kind of been popping lately, so I don't know. But how do you look at it from an outsider's point of view? Because we talk about this every year leading up to the draft, that any city you're in where you're doing a draft, there's going to be a bias in that city for your local team. This is a biased type of question for you.
Yeah, I mean, they gave the bigger money to Edmonds, which I thought made him the pick before the season. And Mostert's, older. He's had more, just kind of bounced around the league more, but he's a good player. I just don't know that either one of these guys is ideally like a 18 to 20 touch guy a week. So if you start them, you're hoping they touch it 11 to 15 times, knowing that it could be 7 or 8. The bread is buttered in the passing game here. We know that. And I heard that really touching, poignant segment you had on Gesicki before I came on. I mean, obviously he's not an ideal fit here, but he's still a good soldier. He's going out and he's doing his thing. And I always root for Mike Gesicki too. Just a good guy. I liked him at Penn State as well. But if you're playing a Miami running back, it's not that they're not talented, but they don't have a great running game right now, and they don't throw a lot of volume at it. So you have to hope that maybe they're a top 30 running back this week. I think you have to lower the expectations.
Start or sit Waddle this week?
Oh, I would have to have a really stacked team to not be playing Jalen Waddle.
Right. Okay. So right. Exactly. Yes.
And look, Teddy Bridgewater is a really good backup, and he might be better. The joke's on Carolina. They probably were better off with Teddy Bridgewater. Baker Mayfield has driven that offense into a ditch. He's making DJ Moore unstartable. For example, if I had Waddle and DJ Moore on a team, I would play Waddle every week, and I'd be like, how do I get out of the DJ Moore business? Please, can you post one good game so I can trade you? I don't blame that on DJ Moore. Just like I don't blame it on Kyle Pitts, right? I mean, he's got Mariota's not playing well, and Arthur Smith doesn't want to throw the ball. And he certainly doesn't want to throw it to Pitts. I still think Pitts is a special talent, but you need people around you who elevate you. Right now, DJ Moore doesn't have it. Waddle did it last year. He'll do it with Teddy. He'll do it with Tua. He's just – I talk about the term inelastic for players. Chris Olave's like that, right? Chris Olave was great with Winston. Then Dalton played, and he was great with Dalton. And if they played somebody else, if Taysom Hill had to play quarterback, if Archie Manning came back, he'd be great with those guys. Chris Olave just can't be stopped. And I think Waddle's one of those guys.
Drop Allen Robinson for Corey Davis. I understand that because this week the Dolphins are going to be without X. They're without Byron Jones and Keon Crossan. So they're going to have a whole bunch of young guys back there along with Nick Needham. So, and Allen Robinson hasn't been anything. That's an interesting question. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think I would wait 1 week only because I think there's more theoretical upside for Robinson. And because Davis has been a free agent in your league this long, that makes me think he'd probably be waiting for you next week if you want him. Because think of the guys he's behind, right? He's behind Garrett Wilson. He's behind Elijah Moore. They have 2 running backs who play, and Breece Hall has started to spread his wings a little bit in the second half. And we don't even know really what Zach Wilson is. Not that anybody wanted to see more of Joe Flacco, but a lot of Flacco's production was through volume. He had the most pass attempts through 3 games in any NFL season. So Davis is a nice player. I actually think he's one of the most underrated players in the NFL, and he'd be a great trade target for a contending team that needs a receiver. I know the NFL isn't big on trades, and a lot of times receivers change teams and they don't do much right away, but I'm a Corey Davis fan. I just got to think that I got to give the Rams. I know the Rams look broken right now, and I said on Twitter, Matthew Stafford doesn't believe in 3 things right now: his offensive line, his secondary receivers, and his body. He doesn't trust any of those things, and that kills Allen Robinson. But I'm going to give him 1 more week because his upside, if he popped, would be more than what Corey Davis could do with the Jets.
Eric is asking, pick 2 in a PPR: Miles Sanders, Chris Godwin, or T. Higgins.
I'd say Godwin. They're all good options. The thing with Sanders is we like to reduce backfields down to 2 pieces, and the Philly backfield is basically the running quarterback and Hurts and Sanders. The other guys, Gainwell and Scott, aren't playing that much, so that keeps him in my lineup. But all 3 of those options were good. That's a really nice question to have.
A.J. Dillon, Bryce Hall, or Singletary in a PPR?
I would play Dillon, but I will say the Singletary the last 2 weeks is getting touches. He's in the RB2 conversation now. Again, can we reduce the backfield? They're not playing James Cook much. They're not playing Zach Moss much. They do, again, very much like Philadelphia. The goal line back is basically the quarterback. It's Josh Allen. but Singletary is getting involved in the passing game as well. He's a startable guy. He wasn't the best of the options there. I think Dillon was, but a lot of teams, I think, with injuries kicking in and just a lot of offenses in ditches right now, Singletary is a very playable RB2 for me.
Okay. Start Everett or Schultz?
Everett's in my lineup until he does something wrong. I'd play Everett over Pitts right now. I mean, he's a top 7, top 8 tight end. I know Justin Herbert got hurt a few weeks ago. He looked great last week. Cleveland's not an easy matchup this week, but Everett's in their circle of trust. He's a tight end who's getting 6 to 8 targets every week and some goal line equity. And how many guys? We could say about, 5 or 6 guys maybe? Yeah. He's in my top 10. I'm not even thinking about it.
Let's see. Flex spot. Khalil Herbert, David Njoku, or Adam Thielen?
Yeah, the running back can get the easier touches, assuming Montgomery doesn't play, which it sure seems like he's not going to. You want to check that on the weekend. But the Bears' offenses, I've ranked all the offenses for fantasy purposes. I do that quarterly. I had Chicago dead last. I had them 32nd. Big O, if I could have put a couple CFL teams and a couple college teams ahead of the Bears, I would have done it. They're awful. But they'll run the ball and run the ball and run the ball. And so Herbert, if he starts, which I think he will, probably 20 touches in his back pocket.
Just got something in the mail.
Can't see what that is.
It's a Tua Tagovailoa card.
Nice.
A 10 too, baby. 10.
Nice. Get back healthy. We need you, man. Take a few weeks off. Teddy's got this.
I made a purchase. I had to because I'm a believer. Yeah, baby. Little rookie card. So I had to have a rookie card. A Panini 2020 Panini Instant Rookie Card. Yeah. The gem.
Is there a Big O rookie card?
Yes, there is. Did you know? You didn't know that?
No, I've been searching on eBay and Amazon all week. I can't find one.
There is one. There. I'm not kidding.
Okay, there should be. I'm not kidding either. There should be one.
There is a rookie card. You got to go to Topps.
Okay.
89 All-Star Game in Miami. It's a Charles. Is it Charles Barkley or David Robinson? Which one is it, Sean? You probably have the damn thing stock already.
I don't have it. It's David Robinson and forget who's jumping up in Barkley. Yeah.
So it's a picture of Robinson jumping in Barkley, and I'm there in the stands.
Oh, outstanding!
Clearly, me and the wife are there, and so it's that's. I actually have a rookie.
So
card.
three Hall of Famers, three Hall of Famers.
You were joking, but see, yeah, exactly, 3 Hall of Famers. Yes, Barkley, Robinson, and the Big O. Yes, the wrong Big O, but yes, the that's it right there. All right, let's see. Let's move on. Robinson or Zeke Elliott? Wow, Zeke Elliott's really fallen off.
You know, I don't trust what James Robinson is doing. A great comeback story. Achilles is usually a kill shot for running backs. It seems like it's submarine Cam Akers and so many other backs.
Like you're expecting him to repop because he's wearing it out so quickly.
Right. It's funny. The thing with Robinson, though, I want you to trade him high, but after he plays Houston this week, touchdown favorite, he's going to get a lot of work. I think he has a big game here, but it's misleading, and you try to trade Robinson at a high point next week. At least with Zeke, everybody knows Tony Pollard's more talented now. He's younger, he's fresher, but the Cowboys are going to play to the contract. It's just the way it is. Play Robinson this week aggressively, and then try to trade him next week.
All right. Who should I start? Najee, Breece Hall, or Mike Thomas if healthy?
I need a show me game from Thomas before he enters that conversation. I'm going to go to Hall only because I'm worried that Pittsburgh-Buffalo game gets out of hand. And Harris looks like just a guy right now to me. I think he's a very ordinary talent where I actually can see special qualities with Hall. Now, Miami they do focus on stopping the run. They've been weaker against the pass, so I would think Hall's already get an X on his back, but he'd be the guy I'd play in that 3. And Mike Thomas, until he plays a football game and shows me something, I'm not going to start him anywhere.
Okay. Chris Godwin, DJ Moore, or Curtis Samuel, pick 2.
I'm going to sit Moore. Samuel leads that team in targets. And I expect Tampa Bay. Brady's been known for his ability to come back after losses. Now they're coming back after 2 losses. But now they welcome in the Falcons. This just says Tom Brady throws 4 touchdown passes written all over it. I got to play Godwin. And Samuel, again, he's getting the most targets there, and Dotson probably won't play. So we talk about when offenses get reduced by a player, it makes it easier to trust everybody else. I think Samuel could easily be a top 15 receiver this week.
All right. Somebody says pick one in a flex, McKenzie, Everett, or Schultz.
McKenzie's a good pickup. I'm glad you added him. Crowder got a major injury last week. McKenzie's a little bit dinged up himself, but I talked about Everett being the circle of trust. I'd certainly start him over Schultz in a tight end league, but in this flex question, I think Everett's your guy.
Connor or Rashad Penny?
You can't sit Penny after last week. I know the Saints' defense is pretty good, but Penny's he's just like Nick Chubb, right? I mean, he always gets 5 yards a carry. He doesn't always get a ton of work. They don't always throw the ball to him. He's not as good as Nick Chubb, but he's the poor man's Nick Chubb. Rashad Penny should be in your lineup. And Geno Smith's been a lot for all these offenses, right?
No, right?
Mayfield's killing us. Russell Wilson's killing us. Matt Ryan's killing us. You know who's not killing us? Geno Smith. Geno Smith is helping us.
I know. Geno Smith has become a fantasy stud, which is
Seattle's winning the breakup because they got Geno Smith. They got rid of Wilson. Denver, not that Wilson's like absolutely horrible, but he's not anywhere near what we expected. He's not playing up to the contract they just gave him. Seattle's got Geno Smith paying him peanuts, and he's been good.
Yeah, he has been good. Hell, personally for me, let me speak for myself. When you sign Geno Smith, I'm like, okay, Seattle's tanking. I get it. I get what they're trying to do. And he's actually overplaying the tanking right now, which is just absolutely nuts. Freiermuth or Hawkinson?
You got after last week, you got to play Hawkinson, and I'm just worried that I'm glad Pittsburgh is making the quarterback change, but it's actually in the teeth of their schedule. They have nasty matchups for the next 5 weeks. I'm going to get Tampa Bay next week, Buffalo at the worst possible time. So who knows what Pickett's ready to do. And Hawkinson was great last week, and Detroit's probably going to be missing some personnel. I know tight end's not a consistent position, and neither one of these guys will be consistent, but Hawkinson, was the leading fantasy scorer last week. Not the leading tight end. He outscored the whole field. I can't sit a guy after a game like that. I know we don't want to chase points and everything like that, but as a performance that significant, I got to keep him in the lineup.
All right. J.K. Dobbins or Khalil Herbert?
I'm going to lean to Dobbins only because I just think that team is going to score touchdowns. The Bears may not. Herbert's going to get more touches. I was encouraged. We think of the Ravens generally not throwing to their running backs. I was encouraged that Dobbins got involved in the passing game last week. It was the better part of his game. And they may not have Bateman. Devin Duvernay, by the way, if you're desperate for a receiver, is a nice pickup or somebody I might start this week. But I'm going to go to...
Dude, he's grown as a player. Props to Devin Duvernay.
Every week. He's not getting a lot of work either. He's caught 12 or 13 targets. He's already scored 4 touchdowns, and they need him. He went from a guy we'll use him once in a while to a guy they actually need.
Team, limited receiver, and he has grown as a receiver.
Like him as a pickup, yeah. But for the question that was asked, I would use Dobbins because Baltimore's going to need Dobbins this week on Sunday night.
Well, they're going to need you on Sunday. What the hell are you doing for them on the Yahoo platform, baby?
That's right. Well, we got Fantasy Football Live is our flagship show at noon. I have a quick video spot at the top of that, and I'll be handling the Yahoo Fantasy account for that final hour, talking about who's in, who's out, who do you start. Later today, I'll be giving out my 5 picks against the spread. We're 15-5, which is pretty darn good. It'll make you a couple of pennies, so hopefully we can keep that going. Oh, there it is. Barkley, Robinson.
Yep.
I know you're there somewhere. I'll have to blow it up later and get it.
Well, he's gonna have. I think he's gonna now blow it up after now. But it's just to the left of his underarm, right there. Yeah, you gotta look, and then it's me and the wife, and we're both in Heat jerseys. You see how he's circling it?
Oh, that's awesome. So, that is outstanding. That's probably why that's a $5,000 card right now, right? If you haven't made condition.
Easily. And one of my best friends actually found it. So he's just perusing. He goes, "Hey, didn't you go to this game?" And I go, "Yeah, man, I had season tickets back in the day." And so he's perusing. He's going, "Dude, you're here." And I'm like, "Get the hell out of here." And he goes, "No, look." And I was like, wow, I never knew. And so there you go.
You know what else is awesome about that card? I think it's the last time anybody played defense in an all-star game. I mean, Barkley's taking it seriously, right?
Yeah, dude, you see how high he is compared to Robinson? And he's 7 inches shorter.
Yeah, usually it's everybody's a turnstile, right this way, sir. You here, go dunk on me. I don't care. But
and it shows you what kind of a freak Barkley was too.
To lead the league in rebounding, he's 6'4.5", 6'5", or something like that. Yeah, he's could handle the ball, could shoot it. Probably took too many threes, but he was one of my favorite players, and just a guy who's just authentic, one of one. Right? How many people are one of one? Shohei Ohtani is one of one. Charles Barkley Tiger Woods is one of one. Charles Barkley, one of one for sure. Yeah. One of my favorites. Anyway, the picks come out later today. I'll be on the show, Fantasy Football Live on Sunday, and then on the podcast Sunday night with Matt Harmon, where we wrap up everything, try to figure out what we just saw. So I wish everybody good luck in Week 5. I always enjoy these spots, and I got to get myself over to Amazon or eBay and try to win a bidding war.
That's it, baby. That's it. And follow him on Twitter at Scott_Pianowski. And make sure you catch his work there at the Yahoo platform. Scott, as always, appreciate you, my brother. We'll catch up next week.
It's fun. Peace. Good luck, everybody.
Thank you. You are now done with the Sports Grill Fantasy Football Zone.
You've been listening to the Sports Grill Fantasy Football Zone with Yahoo Sports' Scott Pianowski. Go to sportsgrill.com to find a great location near you. Fantasy football fans, subscribe to the Big O Radio Show on YouTube and all other platforms to catch up with all our fantasy football insight provided by Scott Pianowski and Andy Behrens.
Love it, man. I'm pumped. Got my mail today. I got my Tua 10 mint rookie card. Yeah. Damn right. I believe. I'm in all the way, dude. I don't talk crap. I back up what I say right there. Look at that. Yeah. Come on, kid. Take care of yourself. Please stay in the damn lineup and stop holding the ball for 4 or 5 seconds. Get rid of the ball. Give us a hell of a career. Give yourself a gold jacket and a title. Yeah, I said that. Yeah. He'll be a franchise guy. He stays healthy. He'll lead the Dolphins to a title. And he'll go to the Hall of Fame, too. And we'll put him in the Ring of Honor. That's what he can be. It's up to him now. The only thing stopping him from being this is the one thing he's got to get rid in his game. He's got to stop playing the hero ball stuff. Does that? He does that. And this card will go skyrocketing in value. Not that I would ever sell it, because I would never sell it. That's not my style, you know? I don't do those kind of things. Okay? I got the God already right here. Rookie. Here's a new one. I don't sell it. I'm never parting away with this. Now, this will be the new one right here. So let's go, Tua. All right. I want to be an old man going to the stadium to celebrate you going into the Ring of Honor after a phenomenal career and a championship along the way. And by the way, I would like to actually cover the championship. You know what I'm saying? So please, dude, take care of yourself. That's all I'm asking. I'm not asking for much. And, of course, I was given one. This is his second year one, which is a beautiful card, by the way. Love it. But I had once I got that one, I was inspired. I go, you know, I should go get a rookie card. You know, a guy like me should have his rookie card. You know, if I'm going to go out on a limb, I'm going to go all the way out on a limb. Big O, do you think Higgins will start? I'm not sure, my brother. I can't tell you for sure. I don't know. I'd be lying to you if I told you, oh, yeah, for sure he's starting. Oh, no, he's not. I'd love to help you out in that sense, my friend. I can't. I don't know. You're going to have to wait till Sunday, you know? Wait till your deadline is in, and then you can hopefully have as much information as possible and then make your decision. You don't have to make I hope you don't have to make the decision now. I hope you don't have a league that like shuts down your lineup on a Friday. That would be ridiculous. I remember years ago we used to play in a league like that it would be locked in, and man, people would be pissed. So was I. Along the way, it was just disappointing. Inter Miami, Sunday 2:30. So while we're watching the Dolphins play the Jets, Inter Miami will be playing Montreal. They got a shot at the 4th spot. Good for them. Really happy for them, man. Really, really happy for them. Paul Feinbaum. The Paul Feinbaum show is one of those hardcore SEC type shows. I'm not exactly sure if you guys saw this, but as you know, Jimbo Fisher is not necessarily doing his job. He is 37-16 in his tenure, which, he replaced Kevin Sumlin, who, by the way, was 37-16 in his tenure over at Texas A&M, right? What do you got for me, Sean? I'm sorry. Go ahead. You got something? No? Okay, I thought I saw you there coming in. But anyway, so Paul Feinbaum, as you all know, he's got this hardcore, college football show, and then the SEC fans are pretty intense. And Jimbo Fisher has not been living up to the contract, let's just say. 37-16, just like Kevin Sumlin. Not a good look for the university and for the people in the administration because, you looked at the other guy, you said it's not good enough, and then you go and hire another guy that's comes up with the same mediocre record. And 37-16 at Texas A&M is super mediocre. That's just the way it is. When you're in a top program, you can't be 37-16. And he just got his ass kicked by Missouri, right? Or Mississippi. And so now you've got this whole mess. So Feinbaum doing his show gets a caller who is a little fired up about Jimbo Fisher's shortcomings.
As far as Jimbo's contract, that $90 million contract, a hitman costs a lot less than that. Thank you, and have a great day, Paul.
There you go. You heard him.
A hitman costs a lot less than that. Thank you, and have a great day, Paul.
That's it. Yes, sir. They take their SEC football serious.
A hitman costs a lot less than that.
Okay. I'm just saying. A hitman costs less than that.
A hitman costs a lot less than that.
Oh, man. Yeah, it's so important that Texas A&M wins. God bless.
A hitman costs a lot less than that.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Do you... Is that a threat? Can you be arrested for something like? Is there a lawyer out there that's watching right now? Is Jeff watching right now? Because I know Daniel's probably flying around in a plane because that's what he does. He works in the courtroom and then he's flying in planes. But maybe Jeff is watching. I'm not exactly sure, but it's wow.
A hitman costs a lot less than that.
Oh, I'm kind of laughing, but it's really not funny because it's kind of disturbing in every way possible. Oh, you think the FBI went to check up on that guy? That's what I don't know. That's why I'm kind of asking, like, can you? Was that a law broken? Did you threaten somebody? Because it kind of sounds like a threat. Now, listen, a lot of this stuff usually is empty, but there's always a couple crazy bastards that actually mean it. And they'll actually go ahead and do it because we see it all the time in this world. Every day you see crazy stuff on the news.
In this day and age, I think you got to check up on everything.
Right. Yeah. You are 1,000% right, sir. Yeah.
Especially an SEC fan.
That's true. That is so true. I'm optimistic Teddy will be ready. The game plan is going to be built around his play style, his run and gun kind of guy. What do you all think? Well, I wouldn't call him run and gun at all. Yeah, but I do think that he will adapt his game plan a little bit to suit Teddy. That's what great coaches do. Josh Gaddis doesn't do that, but that's what great coaches do. They kind of tweak whatever. They try to help and play to the positives of their players. Not that Josh Gaddis does that, but real coaches actually do that. Oh, when I hear that dude, it's easy to imagine someone trapped in his house putting lotion on the body. He puts the lotion in the basket. Big O, we are armchair coaches and doctors. I don't know about lawyers. Dude, we're armchair lawyers and financial consultants and meteorologists and epidemiologists and all kinds of stuff, bro. Come on. Is John Wick available? John Wick. What's Baba something or what was it? What does the Russian dude call him? What's his nickname that he calls him? He's the guy you call to kill the boogeyman. What is that nickname that he uses? I forgot. Damn it. And now, not only are you getting, you're going to have a fourth and a fifth John Wick. That's coming, right? I think they're already in the middle of the filming of 4, and then they're already signed on for 5 too. So that's cool because I enjoy the John Wicks. I think they're fun. But they're also going to do a movie about the Continental. So that will be also kind of interesting. Baba Yaga. That's what it is. Baba Yaga. That's it. Okay. Oh man. I love it. I love it. All right. What else do we have to talk about in the world of sports? One thing that I do not like about all this, because again, it's this two-faced crap that goes on in this world, and everybody now is using to crap on the Dolphins and Mike McDaniel, and I'm disgusted by all this stuff. I really am, because players know what the hell they're doing. They're trying to stay on the field. They're trying to, fake the doctors out, all of this stuff. And so now the Himes guy goes out last night, and you've got people writing articles like, well, they handled it right and the Dolphins didn't. And, what I hate about all of this is the Dolphins handled it the right way. They've been handling it like the NFL has been handling it for years now, because their protocols were never good enough. They were terrible years ago. And then after all this head trauma stuff came out, they had their own protocols. But were they really tough protocols? Give me a break, dude. Aaron Rodgers was walking around for weeks without the vaccine, and nobody knew. The NFL did nothing about it. And so you say your protocols and all that stuff. And meanwhile, there's the quarterback fooling everybody and lying to everybody that he was, that he had the vaccine when he didn't. So please, it's not a Dolphin thing. It's an NFL thing. It's an NFL players thing. The players are trying to circumvent it. The coaches, whatever. The Cameron Brate one, here's where I tell you that the NFL is full of shit. So full of shit, their eyes are brown. Okay? The Cameron Brate report now, they say that the doctors that were there also, because, obviously heightened now after the whole Tua thing, know that they checked them again, and it was just the back. It wasn't. When you knew, just watch it. Come on. No back. The guy he got knocked out, bro. And he came back. They're all liars. The players are liars. And these doctors, obviously, am I seeing any lawsuits? Once again, I'm mentioning it once again. Is Tua suing them? Is Tua's lawyer suing them? Is the NFLPA suing anybody? Is the NFL suing anybody? Is the doctor that got fired suing anybody? Oh, or is everybody getting paid and there's just confidentiality agreements and let's just dress this up? Let's put lipstick on a pig. Listen, man, it's like watching, the crypto world, right? And you got people throwing out FUD, and most people that don't know anything about crypto, oh yeah, no, that's because that's what the rich, the powerful, they want you to think that way. Meanwhile, they're buying in. They're scooping it up because they know what the future is, right? And it's just, that's what this world is. You have to be so careful because they're constantly lying to you. They're constantly trying to mislead. They're constantly trying to put the lipstick on the pig. They're constantly trying to pull some PR bullshit. Because this is what they do all the time. And the Brate situation this weekend was just perfect. Convenient for you guys because you would look bad again because he got back out on the field before he could get examined or anything. And because you don't want to look bad, you just say it's the back. Just like you did with Tua in the first go-around, whether it is his back or his head or whatever. But the guy was grabbing his head, not his back. I don't know. Maybe it is his back. Maybe it is a nerve. I don't know. All I know is when he came back in the second half, it did not affect him whatsoever, and he was balling. And on Thursday night, he was balling. But no, let's just make it out like the Dolphins are criminals, and they did everything wrong. No, the NFL has done a piss-poor job of protecting its players. That's all. Because in the end, the players a lot of times don't care about protecting themselves because they need to make money and they need to make incentives and they don't want to lose their jobs and they don't want to lose their position on the team and they don't want to lose their contracts and all of that stuff. As Joe Burrow said, we know exactly what we're getting into. There are no more lies here, ladies and gentlemen. We're not in the 70s and the 80s and even in the 90s. We're in 2022. Everybody knows the risks. We're all incredibly informed nowadays. And so are they. So the Dolphins are not evil. They're not irresponsible. They are just part of the NFL. Okay? And so now the concussion police is out there last weekend and now every weekend from here on out. And you got it last night, and they showed the 4 or 5 people gathered around and all that. Oh, did Russell Wilson suffer a concussion? Put him into the tent. Did it ever look like he suffered a concussion at any point? No. But now we've got the concussion police because we've got to dress it up. Whip out the Maybelline. Put the lipstick on the pig. We got to show the public that we care and we want to do something about it. Double standard crap that we've dealt with Tua, and now double standard crap that unfortunately the Dolphins have to deal with, and it's unacceptable. But whatever, man. It is what it is. We do what we do. When sports and business collide, folks, there's something we love to do on this show. It is called the KSDT CPA Sports Business Report. All right, ESPN nearing a new partnership deal with DraftKings. It's pretty amazing, man, because, you know, ABC, the mouse, all that stuff, they're not big into getting involved with all of this, but money is money. I'm sure they've taken some hits in the state of Florida. They've lost some battles with Governor DeSantis. So I'm sure that Disney, the mouse is saying, hey, we need gambling money. And so I guess gambling money is coming. So the family-oriented Walt Disney Company has been gradually dipping its toe into sports betting. With ESPN now, it could be diving in head first with a lucrative deal. ESPN and sports betting giant DraftKings are close to signing an exclusive deal that would greatly expand the worldwide leader sports gambling portfolio. ESPN signed co-executive deals with DraftKings and Caesars 2 years ago, but Darren Rovell of Action reported Thursday night that ESPN and the nation's number 2 sports book is on the cusp of forging an exclusive partnership. Specific terms of the deals are unknown, but the deal is massive, exclusive partnerships that will have shows and perhaps odds integrated into the broadcast. So they're going all in. So when I go to Disney and I go to the ESPN club to go do a show sometimes, while I'm up there, I can also lay a bet right there. Is that what they're going to do? Is that how it works? But money is money, man, and everybody needs it to grow, and you've got to adjust. Sports leagues, we're staying away from it like it was the plague. Now they're accepting it. Hey, listen, players make enough money nowadays that you're not going to be able to buy players off. That's just something that's ridiculous. And in today's digital world and digital imprint of everything that goes on, everywhere you go, every single move you make, it's hard to hide anything nowadays, anything whatsoever. So that whole thing is gone nowadays. You really don't have to worry about that element anymore. So it's just a business and it's a partnership. Now, what you want to do is also make sure that the partnership is a clean partnership. Unlike, let's say, Barstool, okay, who they are part of a sports book themselves, but 2 weeks ago, they go and release one of their interns or people that work for Barstool puts out an entire practice video of the Dolphins getting ready for the Bengals. See, those are the things that you got to watch out. If you're gonna cross that line, well, then if you're part of gambling, you've got to do it where you got to make sure that everything's on the up and up. And so that's where Barstool screwed up there, doing something like that, because that's not something that should be done when there's money on the line and you're part of it. Now, I'm sure ESPN will carry themselves accordingly, unlike Barstool. But I'm not surprised. Money drives it all, man. It drives it all. And maybe they won't have marijuana dispensaries on the Disney properties, or what other things that they probably will never be strip clubs or something like that. But gambling, I'm not surprised. I'm not. And after the whole pandemic mess and everything that's gone on, and DeSantis, I would think that Disney wants to catch up with a couple of bucks. That is your KSDT CPA Sports Business Report.
This has been the KSDT Sports Business Report. KSDT CPA is one of South Florida's largest and one of the country's fastest growing accounting firms. KSDT is recognized by Forbes as one of the top tax and accounting firms for 2022. KSDT CPA is a full service firm that also excels in crypto. Visit online at ksdtcpa.com or call 305-670-3370.
All right. Don't forget Slomins Home Shield, a proud sponsor of our program. We love the people at Slomins, and Sean and I specifically love them because they protect both of our homes, which is a beautiful thing. And when you have that doorbell camera, and right now the first 40 Big O listeners will get a free doorbell camera, 1-800-ALARM-ME. That's 1-800-ALARM-ME. And you're going to love how convenient that doorbell camera is, how convenient it is to use that touchpad, how it's connected to your smartphone, how you can watch your entire home inside and out, wherever you want to put a camera. Okay? Even if you want to put one in your bathroom, you can then keep up with it. It's up to you. Hey, man, whatever your habits are, that's all right. We have one in the living room because we like to keep up with our doggies. They're kind of like our kids, you know. We have our daughter, but she's grown up. Our dogs, they never grow up. It's like me. I never grow up. It's the same thing. So call them 1-800-ALARM-ME. We're in 14 different states. So it's not just the state of Florida. Tell them that Big O sent you. They'll take care of you. You get a free doorbell camera, 1-800-ALARM-ME, and you use their professional installation, their low-cost central station monitoring. You're going to get an LED touchscreen pad, a motion detector, 3 arm doors, and a backup battery. And you're going to remember me because you're going to love the service. It is second to none. They are fantastic. When the installers get there, they're super patient with you because I'm really dumb, and they're able to teach me how to use the keyboard. So if they can teach a dummy like me, they can definitely teach you. 1-800-ALARM-ME. Get your free doorbell camera. Tell them that Big O sent you. Get the company that's been protecting Americans for over 100 years. That's right, the Slomins Shield. All right, it is time to talk a little basketball and our Acura Pembroke Pines, Miami Heat, and NBA report with Ira Winderman.
Heat fans, time for the best insight of your favorite team with insider Ira Winderman, exclusively on the Big O Radio Show. It's the Acura of Pembroke Pines, Miami Heat and NBA report. Here's Ira Winderman.
Good afternoon, Ira. And what I want to know is, okay, because, you were in panic mode all last year. Oh, my God, the Nets, the sky is falling. Ah! So after last night's rout of the Nets, how do you feel about Ben Simmons and the Nets? Are you as nervous about the Nets this year as you were last year, or have those nerves calmed down?
Well, as I sit in this Memphis ballroom with hopefully the lights not falling as I wait for my room, I will say this, Big O. The Nets, when whole and healthy, probably still do scare some of the bejeebers out of me for this reason. Kyrie Irving didn't play last night. We've seen Kyrie Irving almost single-handedly beat the Heat at times. So
Yes.
Again, if they're whole and healthy, I think they are a very good team. But they are one of these big three teams we've seen constructed that didn't have much of a supporting cast. I know Joe Harris is injured right now. Eric Spoelstra was asked about that before the game also. And it was interesting. Eric Spoelstra was asked, you got your big three with Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, and LeBron James. But what you guys in Miami then did is you got Mike Miller and Shane Battier and Ray Allen and Chris Birdman Anderson. The Nets don't have that yet. And what happens in a salary cap world, they're reaching for the Markieff Morrises. They're reaching for the Edward Sumners. They're reaching for the TJ Warrens. So the Nets, I think, are a very good team with Simmons, Durant, and Irving. Championship potential? No, they have to show me a couple more pieces. Joe Harris coming back from his injury, Seth Curry making three-pointers. They have the makings right now. But I got to tell you something else, and you and I have spoken about this in our Accurate Pembroke Pines report. We speak about it every Wednesday on our redrecover.com Inside the Paint show. If this doesn't go right early, Kevin Durant's going to be back out there. I mean, Big O, you know that night after the game.
By the way, the caveat that I was going to follow up and ask you is,
feel free.
You are totally right on everything you said, that you got to get your big three, but of course you have to have a supporting cast, because we saw 2010 with Mike Bibby and company, it just wasn't enough, and that's cool. Well, it doesn't help also that, LeBron kind of played scared of JJ Barea, but that's a whole other subject. But the other part of that equation is your big three have to fit too. They have to be able to play together, because remember, the Knicks tried to put together a big three. That didn't work out so well. So sometimes there are other situations we've seen that people try to put together a big three. I guess the Knicks think they have some kind of a big three right now, again, this time around. But that's the other part of the equation. We really don't know if Ben Simmons is really ready to even become a big anything.
But
I
I
know
will
he's a
say
big
this.
doofus, but I don't know if he's a big part of a big three. I can't give him an honor he hasn't earned. You know what I'm saying?
But I will say this. There are top-tier big threes, which the Nets still could become with Durant, Irving, and Simmons. They could. The Knicks' big three of Julius Randle, R.J. Barrett, and Jalen Brunson is like a B movie. It's like the B-side for old guys like us when you're talking about buying a single. Oh, what's on the other side? What kind of crap did they unload on this? The thing I wanted to get to is this. If the Nets start 11-15, if the Nets aren't great at it, and they have a very tough schedule, the Kevin Durant stuff's going to start again. I tweeted during the game last night, does Kevin Durant wait for the fourth quarter to demand a trade? He's going to be out there again. So almost, from your chat board and your listeners, and we'll get into this Monday again when I'm back here in our Accurate Pembroke Pines report. Big O, would you still be interested if Kevin Durant legitimately was on the trade market? Or at some point do you say, I can't deal with a guy who's waffling in the wind, who wants out, who wants in, who wants, X, Y, and Z until he decides A, B, and C is better. So I think it's really interesting. This summer, most teams put their best offer forward. Not what the Nets wanted. The Heat would not put Bam Adebayo in there, but they put a nice package together. The Suns put a nice package together with Bridges. My question is, I just wonder at some point if teams say, hey, we don't want to play this Kevin Durant game anymore. This guy is never happy. Not with the Thunder, not with the Warriors, for a long time, not with the Nets. I'm curious what a Kevin Durant trade market would look like if he decides to flex his trade market muscles again.
It also depends on how he looks too. You know what I'm saying? And I think you didn't get those extreme offers because, dude, he's in his mid-30s. He's 34 years old, and you're going to take on 4 more years. And really, in the end, it's kind of like what we've been talking about with these other guys that Miami has. It's really the first. To me, the Heat. To me, the Heat already lost out on their key window with Jimmy Butler. Now you're on a real big time gamble with Jimmy because you're adding so much more mileage on that body now. that I think you should have taken advantage the last couple of years. And with the way Lowry came in, you kind of ruined it. So the same thing with Durant. If you're trading for him, you're not really trading for a 4-year window. You're really trading for a shorter window. He has
2-year window.
older and has injury history, just like Jimmy. Jimmy is constantly breaking down, and that's because he put so much mileage on that body. So, like, for me, I worry about this Heat team moving forward, as I've told you from the get-go with these older guys. And I think with Durant, that's the same thing. It's tempting the talent, but it's a fruit that really will get bad on you very quickly. So he has to be playing great at the moment in a couple of months. And then at the same time, you have to say, okay, he's playing great right now, but we got to understand, if we're not ready to win a title this year or next year, why should we make this trade to try to win a title 3 years from now?
You're right. And you're absolutely right. I will say this. Kyle Lowry looked very good last night. And I think one thing about Kyle Lowry, and I know we've critiqued his form and his body and all of that and shamed him to a degree, he plays really good old man, slow man basketball. You know, he could be the Slomin. He could be the Slomins Home Shield Securities mascot. You know, he is a slow man player.
Yeah.
But he knows what to do. He knows the game. So if Kyle is very good this year, if Jimmy shows at 33 he's the same player he was even a year ago, that window might be there, because you don't know about Harden in the playoffs. You don't know about where the Nets are going. You don't know about the rookie coach right now in Boston. You don't know if Middleton has another injury for Milwaukee.
I agree.
It will be interesting if Kyle Lowry
what I'm
is good.
saying is it's a bigger gamble now than
Absolutely.
it was last year and the year before, because now you keep adding the age and the miles on it, and it's just you're making it harder on your organization to get over the top. Because Ira, the bitch about this whole thing is, dude, it's 82 games.
Yes.
That's a lot of wear and tear on people, and you just can't rest them for 30 of them because you need them to win. And you need them for
looking
playoff
at the final
positioning and all
28
that.
games. You're looking at the final 28 in the playoffs. You're looking at the 16 wins you need. So if you're there in December and you're close and you realize, whoa, this is going pretty well. Kyle stayed healthy and he's still around the team. Jimmy still looks good. The one thing I agree with, and I think you were ahead of the curve of this when we were speaking in the offseason, and it was you didn't want to give up 10 years by giving up Bam for Durant. That know Bam for the next 10 years is going to be a pretty damn good player at 25 right now. Like you just said, Durant's probably got maybe 2 years in his top window. So how much of the future you to give up? And what compounds that is now you've extended Tyler Hero. So you've committed to your future, and you have some nice young pieces. I mean, look at Nikola Jovic last night. Even if he just reaches the range of, say, like a Kristaps Porzingis, for example, if that's his ceiling, not too bad of a ceiling if he's your number 3 player.
Well, without the injuries, please, without the injuries.
Yes, without the injuries, but that's down the line. So, it's really interesting. The Heat are really weighing the future and the present right now. Both are very intriguing. It'll be interesting to see where Andy Ellisberg, Pat Riley, Nick Harrison, and Adam Simon, what they do at the trade deadline. Live in the moment or say, hey, you know what? We're set up pretty good going forward.
I did not watch the game. I watched a lot of football last night. Well, terrible football last night, and working on social media, because social media was actually more entertaining than the game about the game. So that was actually good. Outside of Lowry, what else did you like in this game?
You know what? The kid showed enough. Like I just said, Jovic showed that, hey, that's what you get at number 27. You get a project. And I love the story after the game. Never Exposed to dropped on us. I'm sure you saw this. The kid hasn't graduated high school yet. The kid had to put his high school finals on hold to get ready for the draft. It was so funny in the locker room when Dwayne Dedman hears the story. He's walking by. He goes, what the do you mean you haven't graduated high school yet? It just shows you. The Heat have never been the young team. They've always been the graybeards, the old team. And to see this kid in there, and he goes, no, literally, he goes, no, my mommy wants me to graduate. I will. I just couldn't do it right now. And here's the other thing, and I just posted a story at sunsentinel.com about this. This kid, Jamal Cain, out of Oakland University, looked really good, forward out of there. What's interesting is he's following the lineage of Kendrick Nunn, another undrafted forward out of Oakland University just outside of Detroit. But there's no room at the inn. Why? Orlando Alzagary's 2 favorite subjects. If the Heat sign him, they'd be into the luxury tax. We know how you feel about that, Big O. And Udonis Haslam took the spot you otherwise could give a Jamal Cain. So I'm curious to see how this plays out. Did the Heat take one of their two-way guys, Darius Days and Marcus Garrett, remove them from the two-way contract to keep Jamal Cain? Do they go into the tax? But it's like Bam Adebayo told us after the game. Man, these guys always find someone. You can have your lottery picks and your number 15 pick and your late first rounder. We'll find guys, and they have again. And you watched the game last night, and you said to yourself, Jamal Cain, pretty interesting stuff right here.
Yeah, 11 points, 11 rebounds, 6 of them offensive. And if I remember correctly, Jamal Cain is the kid that came in late in Vegas Summer League, right? And
Came in a little bit later, was also out there in San Francisco.
And I want to say the last game, he was like, I think he shined in that last game, if I remember correctly. And we're like, oh, okay, who is this? Yes. It was like, okay, another guy. And the biggest, while college basketball has been absolutely destroyed and it's a shell of what it used to be, and the college basketball you and I grew up with was so glorious to be able to watch the great young players stay there for 3 and 4 years. And so while it's been a detriment to college basketball and it's kind of destroyed it pretty much, and then at the same time, it's made it even harder for the draft because now players are coming in younger than ever. They have very little film. They have very little film at a higher level, like in college, where you get a better feel for who they are. So because of that, scouting has become that much harder. But if you're really good at scouting, it's also become great because the nuggets are slipping through the cracks like crazy. And if you work your ass off like the Heat continually shows us, they're going to find people no matter what. And they're now, and obviously development is so important. Not only do they find them, but then they develop them at the same time. So it's been a yin and a yang and a good and a bad. And for the NBA, it all depends on what kind of front office you have. But if you have a really good one like Miami, you might just end up taking advantage of all of this.
And look at a kid like Cain, spent 4 years in Marquette, one of the Heat's favorite hunting grounds, then goes to Oakland for 1 year, 5-year collegian, kept working and grinding, and the Heat kept noticing, and he showed up. You remember we were in the basement at the Thomas & Mack Center. We pulled him in for an interview. We basically told Jamal Cain, who are you? And he told us, and this kid's enthusiasm. And last night, he went into the game and he told his mom, I'm going to play against Kevin Durant. I watched him since I was a kid, which tells you how young these kids are. And that Jamal Cain was 8 years old when Kevin Durant broke into the NBA, and he talked about the thrill of the moment. And that's what you like to see, a kid who really appreciates the opportunity he's getting. There'll always be a place for those kind of players, whether it's the Heat, the Sioux Falls Skyforce. They keep an eye on them. They turn them into something. So I think that was really impressive last night also.
All right, so what happens? What's your gut tell you with Jamal Cain?
My gut tells me that Marcus Garrett might be on thin ice for yet another season. If you remember last year, they cut him in midseason. He needed the wrist surgery, but in favor of Kyle Guy.
He's a defensive guy, and so unless he's a consistent 3-and-D guy, then you can consider him that. And that's something I at least from what I've watched with Marcus so far, I have not seen a consistent 3.
So last night he couldn't score either. Yeah.
I do love his defense.
Again, and again, you and I have said this for months, almost years, it's the Breonte Weber, Patrick Beverley. Right. Breonte Weber never added the offense. Patrick Beverley became a really good three-point shooter. That made the difference. Tonight here in Memphis, the Heat are going to sit most of their regulars. Jimmy Butler's not even with the team. I think he's at a coffee convention. So instead, Bam and Kyle will also sit, but Darius Days will get big minutes. He's the guy who's with the Spurs Summer League team. You remember Big O in Vegas. They signed him at the last minute. This will be his audition. His job in two-way could be in jeopardy also. But again, that whole UD thing, Israel Gutierrez wrote a wonderful story for ESPN.com about Udonis.
He ain't going anywhere. He ain't going anywhere.
No, he isn't. And Udonis is going to stay here and collect the paycheck, but he takes a roster spot up also. And that makes this decision a little bit more difficult. But you know what? The Heat will find a way. They're not going to let talent go, I don't think.
Yeah, Marcus Garrett, one of 8, 0 of 3 from 3-point range.
Yeah,
and yeah, exactly. And there's you can see usage for the other. Like, look, Highsmith did not have a good offensive game, but you've watched him, and so have I. You love his maturity, you love his body because you figure, oh man, they're kind of hurting at power forward. Well, guess what? His body's better than actually Caleb's or Jimmy to be at 4. He's thicker than both those guys, actually. And one of the things that I like about that kid is I love Highsmith's maturity. And that's another thing that looks like he will be able to handle more responsibility and be more of a role player. But if you can get a Kane who comes in, I'm looking at this, and he's, playing the way he is, now all of a sudden and he adds a little size, right? Isn't he like 6'8" or 6'9"?
Yeah, he's about 6'7", swing forward, so he can play forward, he can play shooting guard. He gives you the option for multiple positions. You can see what he's capable of. Keep an eye on him. He should even get minutes on the back-to-back tonight. They have 2 more games next week at home, so you'll see a little bit more than a week before they have to make the final cut down. Hey, yet another Miami Heat diamond in the rough.
One more thing before I let you go. Pro Basketball Talk, your partner in crime on Wednesdays here on the RedRecover.com Inside the Paint Show. On Pro Basketball Talk, it mentioned about our boy from the Suns, and it's Miami and Milwaukee actually interested in him. So what are you hearing there? Is this something for down the line?
The trade there is this. The one that's being talked about is...
Talk about Jay Crowder, by the way, folks.
Jay Crowder and Malik Beasley from the Suns going to the Heat for Duncan Robinson and a first-round draft choice. And the whole point here is, if you give up your draft capital, you'd be left with 1 tradable first-round pick. Now, the Heat doesn't do anything with the first-round
I like that
picks.
trade. I like that trade.
Oh, you like it for the Heat?
Yes.
I like it for the Heat. But for the but
you got me excited.
The Heat, if they give up their draft capital, I say do it for the reasons you and I spoke about at the top of this accurate Pembroke Pines report. With Kyle 36, with Jimmy 33, with Dwayne Dedmon 33, with Victor Oladipo 30. Give them something now also. You could still have Tyler for the future and Bam for the future, maybe Jamal Cain, Gabe Vincent, Max Strus, so you have 1 fewer pick, but you also get to live in the moment also. The Heat would instantly upgrade. God bless Caleb Martin. But you know what, Big O? If you don't have to start Caleb Martin, you have the jack of all trades off the bench. He can guard the point guard like he guarded Trae Young in the playoffs last year. He can guard the small forward. He can guard the shooting guard. He can be a backup power forward. I like that deal. It's a matter of how far the Heat willing to go to give up an unprotected first-round pick in 27 or 29. Look, that's going to be after the Pat Riley era, so it might be different. But you know what? I'm with you. Screw the future. Live in the moment when you have Jimmy Butler. Give Jimmy his best chance.
And this unprotected crap in their case, come on, bro. When are they into? They're rarely in the damn top
the Michael
10.
Beasley year, and that's it. As long as Stephon Losme, Blake Ahern, and Casip Powell aren't on the roster, the Heat aren't tanking. I agree, Big O.
You're not Orlando or Charlotte or one of these teams that, you got to watch out and keep my pick protected. You're the Heat.
Right. Even the Lakers know they go to crap after their stars leave. Even the Lakers are careful about giving up their 2 future picks. They saw what happened when Shaq left. They saw what happened when Kobe left. They've seen before. They have gone to the bottom. So that's why I think people would prefer the Lakers picks, because they can be craptastic. The Heat rarely are.
No. The Heat can coach up Scrubberinis to a 500 record, bro, and almost get them into the playoffs.
And Riley are there. Yes, I agree.
Yeah. It's crazy. All right, follow him on Twitter at Ira Heatbeat. What are you working on the Sun Sentinel so folks can check you out, my friend?
2 stories right now. I just had a really fun tongue-in-cheek story on Nikola Jovic trying to get his high school diploma. His mom saying, you got to go to college, young man. Also, for people who don't know, in Europe, high school can last till you're 19 or 20. It's a different program there. College can be more trade school. He's a smart kid. He'll be fine. He'll make mama happy. And then my story just on Jamal Cain and what he's done and how he was in awe of Kevin Durant. He went up to him. He told Kevin Durant, I'm in awe of you. Kevin Durant patted him on the chest and said, keep working, kid. And then instead of being starstruck, he made the most of his moment. So I have stories on those 2 guys. In Sunday Sun Sentinel, I'm going to talk about why the Tyler Hero deal is not that bad for the Heat and why, while it closes 1 trade window, it will open another.
There you go. Ira, as always, have a fantastic weekend, my friend. We'll catch up next week. Thank you.
Got up at the ass crack of dawn to get to Memphis just for the Big O Show and the accurate Pembroke Pines report. Thank you, Big O.
Thank you, my friend. Appreciate you. There you go. That is Ira Winderman. You got all the Heat knowledge dropped there.
You've been listening to the Acura of Pembroke Pines Miami Heat and NBA report with Ira Winderman. When you're looking for award-winning service and great deals from the #1 volume Acura sales dealership in the Southeast United States, you go to Craig's Inn Acura of Pembroke Pines at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
Do you remember, Sean, when we were in Vegas, those last days of like, hey, who the hell's this Kane guy? You remember that?
Yeah, because I think he was kept back because of COVID.
Yes.
And wherever they
Yes.
were at the last bit. Oh.
Yeah, exactly. And he was and he played towards the and played well. He played electric in those last 2 games. And you're like, yo, who's this dude? And all that. I think we may even have video of him and something like I think we talked to him even after one of the practices. I mean, one of the games. I think.
Possibly. It might be up there. Yeah, it might be up there. I think he was
yeah.
one of the ones that came in for like a question and then they were leaving. They were getting there ready to go. I jumped on real quick. Update on some Dolphins. Cameron Wolf, it started almost right when you started the interview. They sent it out. Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Xavier Howard, all out at Dolphins practice today ahead of Sunday's game.
So Tyreek, Xavier, and who?
Jalen Waddle.
Okay, I wasn't worried about 2 of the 3. I'm only worried about X. X was out there, huh?
Yeah, and then also Mike Cunha from CBS 4 says Xavier Howard, Keon Cross, and Robert Jones are all back at practice. So he was looking at everybody's kind of looking at different players, but Keon Cross was also back out there. Just again, doesn't mean that they're playing. I'm just saying they're there because they're not doing much. I mean, they get to see the stretching and everything else. They're not necessarily seeing anything else. So, but I wanted to throw that out there so you had that information.
This is stuff that they write and then they sell it to the Jets. And I don't mean that the writers are selling it literally to them. It's that they write it and then the Jets read it or somebody, and then they're at practice. It's a go. That doesn't really mean that. I have a hard time believing that X is going to play with groins. Both of them have healed. Man, I got to tell you. We got a Nature Bee giveaway that we're going to start tomorrow talking about it, okay? And you guys get ready for it. We got a nice little giveaway. You may want to follow Nature Bee on Instagram. That'll be part of it. Big prize we're going to give away. We'll start talking about that tomorrow here on the program. We will talk about it all throughout the month of October. So that'll be awesome. And looking forward to it. Should be fun. These Buffalo fans think that the Dolphins injuries are the same thing as when they played us. To these geniuses remember that Josh Allen was available for that game and Tua isn't for this? Whatever. Sweet baby Ray, maybe Brady was just pushing Giselle to the brink of separation and divorce. He didn't have the balls to tell her goodbye, so he just remained status quo, continuing his career. I don't know. There are reports out there that apparently she's like threatened to leave him several times because of football and all that. And, now if that's the case, I'm on Tom's side. Okay. I'm on Giselle's side only if Tom told her that he was retiring after last year. Like, okay, I did everything, honey. I went to Tampa, won a title. Yada, 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 boom. And then you decided to come back. Then I can understand why she's pissed. But if she's constantly has come at him several times over the years to, quit football, and then I have a problem with that. Because I don't believe that if you love somebody, okay, and, if my wife has a dream to do whatever kind of job, and that's her passion, and it might take away a little bit from certain things. Sacrifices sometimes have to be made because that way your relationship is great and your professional life is also satisfying. What you never want is to stop somebody from achieving their dreams, from enjoying and doing what they love, because while they love you, you want them to also have that other passion too. They're going to resent you if you stop them from enjoying their passion. And so I feel whether you're a husband or a wife, I find it to be absolutely gross negligence in any relationship that you would stop somebody from living their dreams, from doing what they love, because that's that's just not right on every level. It's so selfish. You know, she's done everything she's done in her life. She's been a model. Okay, her time came and went, right? She's a little older now, so she can't be the same model. She chooses to do that. I'm sure if she wanted to keep modeling, then I'm sure Tom is not going to get in the way, right? They met when she was still modeling. I mean, that's kind of the way it should be. So again, we don't know what's going on behind the scenes, dude. Okay? We have zero clue. Tom might be a complete jerk. She might be a complete bitch. This might be a real problem that it's just a whole football thing. Maybe it's just she, is selfishly wants him to, or maybe Tom selfishly wants to keep playing until he feels like it and he's not ready to commit full-time as a dad and a husband. I don't know. None of us really know. But I can only tell you this. I can only support her in one way, and I can only support him in the other way. Outside of that, I don't know any of the information, just like all of you. So we're all guessing and just throwing darts on the board. That's all we're doing with that. The sad part is there's 2 kids involved. I wish that they would figure it out and do what's best for the family. But I'm also against people staying together if they're no longer in love and they're no longer supporting each other either. I don't care how many kids you have. No, being unhappy is not worth anything. Okay? Anything. It's just not worth it. So, kind of the way I look at it. But what are you going to do? Big O, we not only have experts saying Tua should retire, but we have fools, even our fan base, who are saying Tua has ruined the Finns in the NFL. Oh, whatever, bro. But why are we listening? Why are you listening to those people? Brady wants to break George Blanda's 26-year record. It's a new record. Is that what we're doing? Every all right, what's the next old man record? What's the next one? Give it to me. Give it to me. I got to tell Giselle. This is what I got. It's too much. You don't think that Brady wants to hit the 100,000 yard? I don't know what he wants to do. Okay? I don't know what he wants to do. You got 7 titles and you bang Giselle Bündchen all the time. I don't know what more you want. What more? What's there left? You got a fat-ass bank account. You got 7 titles. And you bang Giselle Bündchen every day. Well, apparently not now, but, I can't feel sorry for that man. He's got everything. Life is good for Tom Brady. Life has been really good to Tom Brady. So I don't know what more he needs. I think he's got more than enough already at this point. He's had more than enough for several lifetimes for many people overall. That's what I would tell you. Ho Yoon, thank you for the love on the Venmo, my friend. Appreciate you. Very nice. Thank you. Remember, you can always make a donation through Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That's Cash Big O Show. You can also donate Bitcoin on Cash App. Always love that at Cash Big O Show. That's our address, Cash Big O Show, if you want to send a little Bitcoin to us there. Belichick needs to win about 10 games for the next 9 years to break Shula's record. Really? He's that far? I didn't think he was that far. How about that? That's interesting. All right, we thank Ira Winderman, Scott Pianowski, Joe Shad, Manny Navarro, Ira Winderman, and, of course, Sean Stanley, who masters this program every single day, putting it together. Always appreciate his tireless work, as always. But most of all, we got to thank all of you for tuning in, for sending in a message, for supporting our great sponsors like naturebee.com right there. Always appreciate all of you out there. We will see you tomorrow at Walk-Ons in Kendall, okay? 9065 Southwest 167th Street in 62nd Avenue, in Kendall Drive there. So you get off on the Turnpike in Kendall Drive and you go west, and you'll be there in a couple minutes. So join us out there. We'll be starting the broadcast at 2:00. Kickoff is at 4. UM and UNC. We'll have the post-game show. They have amazing food. Come on out and join us, man, out at Walk-Ons in Kendall. And then Sunday we'll be back for our Dolphins pre- and post-game show. We'll get you ready at 11 a.m. for that 1 p.m. kickoff. We'll watch the Dolphins and Teddy Bridgewater kick the Jets' ass. And then, of course, we'll have the post-game show, a celebratory post-game show, as we'll talk about the Dolphins moving to 4-1 and, of course, getting one game closer to the man coming back and taking over and leading the Dolphins to the playoffs. This year, Inter Miami, the Miami Dolphins, the Miami Heat, and the Florida Panthers are all making the playoffs. That's pretty cool. Sucks that the Marlins aren't going to make the playoffs, but hey, come on. 4 out of 5 is pretty good. So let's enjoy it. Thank you all out there. Chat as always also. Thank you. Appreciate all of you. We will see you tomorrow from Walk-Ons. Same time, same place, same bat channel.